Maybe for our Patreon.
Patreon.
Patreon, $1 a month.
I keep tearing down your guys' fourth wall. I'm supposed to be a nice guest and answer questions and shit.
Oh my god!
I'm over here telling Chris, you're gonna be excited about tomorrow. We're gonna have a good. It's just like
right away. I'm analyzing fucking you guys' little bullshit. I'm sorry. You guys, your bad habits and your.
Chris is over here having an existential crisis and shit.
I
was trying to defend him, and I ended up like sabotaging his whole fucking world. And like, I'm sorry, man. I really feel bad.
Welcome to Anything for the Podcast, where everything and anything goes. My name's Willie.
Apparently not. We just said a bunch of shit. Can't go. So you say anything, but motherfucking said all kinds of bad shit that I can't say. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about. We're not gonna repeat it. I'm not gonna repeat nothing.
I am Chris.
I'm Memo.
And today we're joined by the hitchhiking fisherman.
Oh God, don't call me that. Take that shit back. I don't call myself that. It's like fucking any job I've had, you call me that. The gas station attendant, drunk driving, manure plowing. He's the raging Cajun. Drove 30 miles to get here. That's not who I am. What I've
Robert.
done is... Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry, guys.
No. I was like, that's his name, Robert.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Holy
oh my
shit.
God!
All right.
Like hitchhiking fishermen are fucking insulted everywhere. Like what? I never met them. They all got names like Dragon and fucking Cowboy. They all got cool.
Is that hitchhiking from like boat to boat or what?
No, that was when I was in Oregon and Northern California and Washington State. So that's a way to just get around up there, man. It's not illegal to hitchhike on the highways up there. So you can go camp on a fucking highway and then jump in a car the next morning. So you take advantage of where you're at. That's all it was.
It's kind of like Colorado. There's hitchhiking spots. Like literally, there's hitchhiking posts that people could go to.
And then like out in Arizona, Nevada, you can stay at those like rest stops for like 2 weeks. So really what it is,
shit.
So you do these things based on like the laws allow you to do that shit. Just like you can set up a tent out here and no one's going to move it for fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so Northern California, Oregon, Washington, they're hip to it, man. It's country. So somebody will pull over and pick your ass up if you're out there with your thumb and a sign. And out here, maybe not. But I know that if you go up there, you can get in a car. You can, do your thing.
Do that because like
cool.
you didn't have a car? Well, I mean, I would imagine.
No, things went to
like I have a car, but I just
got you.
prefer
No,
to
like, you know
hitchhike.
what? I left my whole life behind, man. I was at a gas station. I was getting gas, and I was like, you know what? Fuck, I'm just going to walk the earth. I had a Samuel L. Jackson moment. I'm going to walk the earth. Boom.
It's like Forrest Gump halfway through running across America. I'm tired.
Exactly.
I want to go. I'm going to go home.
That's the result of bad decisions, but also I think I ultimately wanted to do that. So it led to me being in a situation where I was just in a backpack.
How far did you go? Like across town or something?
Nah, man, I was... Hey, that'd be hilarious. Reseda. Just a fucking...
The next bus stop, you just put me
I was supposed to have work up in Southwest Oregon. And when I got there was no work for me. And, you're around a lot of hippies and shit. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go do what these assholes do. And you just kind of... if you have no money, you don't really have an option. You kind of look around. You go, am I going to get a job and try to figure out where I'm at? But I was in the land where people were getting picked up every day. I'd be in town, and the next day I'd be like, what happened to this one person? Like, he's gone, man. He's up in fucking Portland, or he's in Seattle. Shit. They were just either hopping trains or they were getting hitchhikes. So
going where?
You go anywhere you need to go. There's people that were trying to get to Vegas, people trying to get to Illinois and shit. So damn, you kind of just, for me, I wanted money, man. I didn't like walking around with a fucking backpack. It's just not how I am.
No,
that's not who I am. But
I
heard about fishing work up in Alaska, so I went out one morning. I just fucking had like $7. I bought a thing of like the granola bars, and I unfolded that motherfucker, made a big sign, and I just wrote Grants Pass, which was the next city north. And I stood out there for like an hour, man, and I swear every second of that hour I'm holding the sign. I was like, no one's gonna pick me up. Nobody's gonna pick me up. No, and that was my mantra. I was like, nobody's gonna fucking pick me up. This is stupid. and I just stood there, and then out of nowhere I hear honk. I started to deal with the anxiety because I'd never been picked up. I was scared too. I was like, someone's gonna fucking kill me, or they're not gonna take me, or they're gonna like whatever's gonna happen. I started singing out loud to myself. I started singing albums. At the top of my lungs. I started just yelling albums. And in the middle of me like yelling like and singing at the top of my lungs on the next to this freeway, I heard honking behind me, and some old white dude had pulled up and picked me up. So like the first guy that picked me up, I didn't even fucking hear him because I was in the middle of having this like anxiety attack with a sign where I'm just like, nah, I'm just yelling lyrics to random fucking songs.
Dancing queen,
young and sweet, girl, wanna have fun. Just trying to deal with it. It's anxiety over.
No one picked you up until you started screaming at the top of your
Because nobody
lungs.
was fucking with me.
It was
dude.
like, oh, this guy needs help. Actually,
But you start having this, yeah, exactly. You start having these moments where you're like, you doubt yourself like a motherfucker, and you kind of just go, you never done it before, so you're like, this is stupid. No one's gonna fucking. But then it ended up being like the guy who picked me up. You could tell he picked people up all the time. And what I soon learned was, one, it's really easy to get in someone's car. It's really fucking easy. And then the second thing I learned was every single person you get to pick you up tells you their whole life story. And it's sometimes you think it's not aggravating. It's pretty fucking interesting.
Well, the thing is like they're never gonna see you again.
No, and then like they're pretty much using me for therapy for like an hour
Hell
or two.
yeah, dude.
But they're cool as fuck. They're very helpful, and they kind of just kick it, and they'll just start going through who they are. And when you're just in a car with somebody we never met in any other circumstance, I just hop in your car. You say your name once, and I never hear your name again. You never hear my name again, and then you just talk, and it ends up being your whole life. This motherfucker told me about Vietnam and all this crazy shit, how him learning to be a sharpshooter in San Diego with his friend, and it was amazing. But you go through that, man. I think I was in a thing where I knew people that lived like that, and I was jealous of the idea of not having to deal with rent. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I had this romantic idea that I was gonna just be in a backpack and just kind of go from place to place and see different shit and take whatever job was there, like a hobo, that type of shit. It's just not what you think it is, though. It's fucking dirty, and like Northwest America, that shit's fucking. There's a lot of people out there doing that shit too, man. It's yeah. It's a whole thing. But that's how it's bad decisions, man. You can end up there too if you make a certain number of bad decisions.
I'm sure I'm on the way.
There you go.
So I think the last time you saw Memo is when you came back from the monk. From
the monastery?
The monastery.
Oh, that wasn't even
Yeah,
hitchhiking.
I know. But then what I was going to bring up was something similar happened to you on the road out there, right? When you ended up working out there.
Yeah, just kind of like I had money saved up this time. It was a different vibe. I took buses and trains.
Okay.
And I didn't trust anybody because I had like $4,000 in my pocket.
Jesus
So I was
Christ, dude.
I was walking around with a bag, and I had $4,000 in cash in my bag tucked away, and I didn't trust fucking anybody. And that was a terrible way to exist, man. That was a terrible way to walk around.
Yeah.
You're just kind of scared all the time. You're just waiting for something. Because I was like, someone's going to jump me and take my money. I was like, that's all I could think every day. I was like, someone's going to jump me and beat my ass and take everything I just worked for.
Jesus.
So I didn't want to make friends with anybody.
Yeah.
And when I saw groups, I didn't get excited. I looked at these groups like they were my enemies potentially.
Yeah, like a band of mirage. Like some dudes were about to just fucking.
Yeah, because they could.
They could, yeah.
They
4
fucking
against
could.
1. Like,
Yeah.
shit.
The second time I had no money.
Yeah.
So you understand, this time I saw groups and I actually looked at them like I needed them. Like I needed them to give me direction or to help me or give me some sort of advice, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So having no money actually helped me meet people.
Yeah.
And having no money actually opened me up to the idea of interacting with people out there. When I had all the money I needed, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was like, fuck everybody. So the first trip was nothing like the second one. And that was the one where, I got picked up by the monastery. That was the same thing, looking for work, trying to find something. And I ended up at this monastery in Willits, California. So it's all these, Buddhist motherfucker people practicing Hinduism, Buddhism, and they're trying to teach meditation.
That's
and
cool.
they took out this old church. They had me living in a camper, helping them, trying to get shit going, get shit built.
Okay.
It's a shit story, man. But not shit as it's by that I mean like I remember the fun of it, but a lot of it really is just feeling bad about yourself. Man.
I
you forget about.
Is that like the just the work or like that place?
You're
or
at
like
you're at the
what
whim
they
of
were
who,
practicing.
You're
or
at the
whatever.
whim of who you're interacting with, man. Like it doesn't feel
I
good.
thought you meant like
no,
like
not towards the
monks and
monastery. They were
stuff
very
and
cool,
stuff.
but when you think about it, you're like everything I'm doing is dependent on whatever generous or evil person I meet next. It's
yeah, kind of like living off the scraps. Or,
but that's the way I just put it.
Shit,
That's the shit. So if you're hitchhiking, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're at the whim of whatever generous or evil piece of shit you're about to meet next. And you're exposed. And by the way, when you get to town, everyone sees you get to town. Yeah. So when I got to town, people knew who I was because of the sweater I had on. So motherfuckers could look for me based on the sweater and my name. So you got to understand, like, all the homeless people and shit, they all knew who I was whenever I got to a little area. It doesn't feel good, man. It's like I don't get to just show up and be Robert. I'm like, no. There's that guy. He has the black bag. He sleeps over there. He wears a green sweater.
Yeah.
And like, you're now a target pretty much. But I didn't,
I think like
Sounds like war.
I think like what blew
Damn, dude.
what blew my mind like at one point, because I think I was referring to when you went missing.
Oh yeah, that was the second trip. That's okay.
Yeah.
So here's what's happening. Willie knows all the stories. My cousin Willie knows all the stories. He knows the whole of like where I've reached now, and he recalls specific chunks of time where I was in specific situations. That was when I was working on a grow. That's on the mountain. That's when I worked for people that grew weed and shit, and they possibly, did other shit too. But that's I didn't have any contact with people because I didn't have a phone, but also I didn't want them watching me be on a phone all day. Right. So I didn't talk to family for maybe 3 weeks to a month. I didn't talk that's a long time to not talk to your family because I'm in the woods. To go right into that's complicated too, is because that ended up happening as a result of what was going on every day. I didn't want people to come looking for me if I did go missing.
Yeah.
So if something did happen to me, I didn't want family to know where I was at because I didn't want them to go missing too if they came looking for me. So I just
it's like that vast of land where you could go missing and no one's finding you.
If you ever look at a map of Oregon, look at Southwest Oregon. That's where I was at. Mm-hmm. It's all woods, man. There's nothing out there. There's no cops or nothing. There's nothing out there. It's just open fucking wilderness. And there's barely yes. There's a lot of that too. Bigfoot's a neighbor. He's a good dude. He started a family up there. If I went missing or if something happened to me, then relatives might go looking for me and they might end up dealing with something. My whole goal was to get myself out of a situation, not bring people to a situation to save me from it.
Yeah, because I remember you were supposed to meet us in Vegas, I was like, "Where's Robert?" And then like everyone like kind of pulled me to the hotel room.
I was on the top of a fucking mountain, weighing out pounds of weed, fucking holding a rifle to bears and shit, picking up fucking trimmers and watching them all day and doing all my shit, driving around in a Jeep in the woods, fucking
Oregon Trail for weed, dude.
Fucking.
And they tell me, they're like, yeah, he's missing. Like, we don't know where he's at.
I was at harvest. The time I was up there was harvest, so we were cutting everything down. So
you were telling me that you were like in a room full of just a shitload of shit.
Well, what ended up happening was we had all our stuff that we were growing, but what a lot of those people out there with the legalization of marijuana, there's a lot of farmers. A lot of them are just older people that don't know how to get rid of it. And the best way to get rid of weed right now is to ship it to places where it's illegal. So you got people in West Virginia, Nebraska, Kansas, Florida, Georgia. It goes for maybe $4,000 a pound out there versus maybe $1,500 to $1,000 a pound out here up north. Mm-hmm. So these local growers that, weed's legal. You can grow all the weed you want in Oregon. Yeah. But you're not going to make that much money because everyone's got it. So everyone's got it.
Yeah.
There's no supply and demand.
My employer, won't say names, found a way to capitalize on this by telling people, hey, either sell me your shit or let me grow it for you and I'll get rid of it out of state. And that's what we did. And now what ended up happening was we started buying people's shit and then processing it ourselves.
Right.
So I ended up with a room. They hung up net and we started taking down the branches of the weed and we trimmed them and you just hang them. We hung a giant net in this huge room and we just hung weed. And then we got so much we had to hang another net across the room and we hung up more weed. And then when we covered that, it ended up being 3 or 4 layers, walls of weed that was drying in this fucking room. And it was just, I couldn't even take a picture. I wish I could have. I wish I could show you like how much, it was just layers of fucking weed hanging from this gigantic long, and we had to dry it. So we had it in this room with the dehumidifiers. Oh, the guy who slept in there, he woke up and he said something about like the nitrates, the chemistry in the room. He had like a runny nose and like that when he woke up in the morning because all the weed just shrinking. Just all this weed. And it went from being... My bad.
You're good.
You're good.
It went from being these heavy nugs where you look and it's just a green wall. As they shrunk, you could see cracks, like little stars poking up in the weed wall. Just all these little... They were shrinking. The nugs are shrinking, so as they shrink, you could see through the weed wall. And it was just, as I came out in the morning, you just see it coming through. And then the nugs
like the sunlight just coming in.
I shit you not, dude. It was that type of shit.
That sounds beautiful, dude.
It was.
It's majestic.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you because you think, this is the fucking funnest.
Well, you were out there breaking horses and fucking...
They had me they had me take care of horses, man. So it ends up...
Nice.
And you're afraid of horses.
But you jump... I was terrified of horses. So you got...
He did.
The way that story happened was... So... Yeah, there's a whole thing. I know you guys don't got time for it, but long story short, that was the whole thing I told you about how I went north. Mm-hmm. That was when I was hitchhiking. They denied me. They drug tested me, and I had weed in my system. They kicked me out of the fucking hotel in Seattle. They bought me a ticket. Weird. They bought me a ticket They hired me,
Where are
and,
they,
and at the
Canada?
last second,
The
they said, "All right, last thing, drug test."
He's
So
talking
go to
about
this
when
lab.
he went to try to go fishing.
The first time I went to go fishing, first time I tried to go fishing, they kicked my ass out the hotel because I had weed in my system. So I had to hitchhike back from Seattle back down south again.
Goddamn.
And I had this whole trek that I just went on. And when I got back to the town where my friends were, they were living on their property. I had to wait like 5 or 6 days. They were being dicks. And they weren't good friends. That's the reason. That's what happens though. You link up with someone you haven't seen in 8 years and they're a different person now.
Yeah.
They're not your brother or sister just because you went to school together. And that's what I had to realize. Like, dude, they're not, this person cares, but they're not your mom or dad. Like, I thought they were going to help me out. They weren't trying to help me out. While I'm in the town waiting for them, someone told me, look, man, you can get work out here. You just got to fly a sign. The night before I'm walking around, I find this beautiful white board and it had a gray handle. And I went ahead and I fucking, on a marker, I went ahead and just wrote on that shit. I just put, the fuck did I say?
Like will work or something?
Yeah, will work or some shit. I put something on there, like something like I was looking to work.
Yeah.
And I didn't even fly the motherfucker. I was like, I woke up behind this mechanic shop and I walked over, I stretched. I was waiting for the sun to hit me. I had my eyes closed leaning against a wall. And I hear somebody just go, "Excuse me, sir." I look over and there's a dude covered in tattoos, his entire body. And he just comes up and he introduces himself. And he says he's looking for workers. And I said, he was looking for 2 dudes in particular. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'll work, man. I don't know where the fuck they're at. They're probably sleeping. I was like, where? I was like, I'm awake. I was at 7 in the morning. I'm up. And I sold myself like a fucking, I was like, dude, I'll work right now. I never talked to somebody like that before. I told him, I was like, dude, I'll fucking work. I had like 2 cans of beans left. I had nothing. I was broke as a motherfucker. And this fool, like, all right, he came back like 2 hours later and he goes, "Hey, man, I can't find those guys. Come with me." And that was the beginning of me working on this grow and ended up
Holy shit.
in a cabin. All the shit I just told you about the weed walls. What the fuck? I'm sorry. It connects to what you were talking about.
The horse.
The horses. So,
Hey, don't worry about time. We have all the time
understand.
in the world.
I'm just trying to I'm trying to keep consistent. Like,
Yeah.
So the horses came because he just started having me live on these properties. So I'm just living there and I got to do whatever's on the farm. So there just happens to be horses. There happens to be goats. There happens to be chickens. Everything you could think of. And he also had dogs. He had all kinds of shit. And then you're now just working for them and you're helping the property. I was terrified of fucking horses, dude. I hate horses. Dude. Horses are these big, scary fucking animals with big teeth and shit. And the thing about horses is in 2 seconds, they might kick back and make you dead in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I don't like horses, man. I don't fuck with horses.
Dude, they're crazy.
But right away, they got me working with horses. So there was this fire that happened up there and they had to move properties. They had to move all their horses to another property. So they told me they needed me helping to get the horses back to the property where they were taken from when the fire happened. These horses were not used to being put in trailers. So these 2 beautiful fucking horses that do not want to be in a trailer. They weren't raised to be in trailers. They weren't groomed to be put. You got to have an animal that can be calm when you drive it down a fucking highway. These were grown horses that had never been put in trailers, but the way they put them in there was because of a fire, so it was an emergency. Now everything's calm. Okay, now we got to get these horses back home. We go and we spent about 2 or 3 hours circling these horses. We'd get them and then they would kick one of our feet or one of our legs and then run off. And then we'd have to go rope them again, pull them back. We'd put them in the back of the cart. We had a rope we put on the hind legs of the horse. And one of us would pull that horse to yank the hind legs to get the horse onto the trailer. Okay. And then a third person would stand there with a rope and whack the horse's
So
ass.
you're telling me that you're like getting behind a horse and putting a fucking rope on his leg?
3 people. One person has the rope around the neck and they're in the trailer, pulling him in the trailer, putting it through a loop. Second person has a rope behind the hind legs and is yanking them on their hind legs. And the third person is doing this on their ass. Guess who's fucking person number 3? It's me, motherfucker. Me. These motherfucking big burly men, they're all over here with their ropes and shit. And they go, "Whack its ass, Rob." I go, "What the fuck?" He goes, "Whack its ass."
Give it a good slap.
I go, "You fucking, this beautiful horse is just, his heels are in and he's getting pushed in. He doesn't want to go in the thing." And they say, "Whack it." I hit it on the ass and they go, "Dude, fucking whack it." And he said, "Hit it." So then I hit it really hard too. They were like, "No, whack it."
Yeah.
They wanted me to hit this fucking horse.
Don't give it that gym, that
Dude,
locker room ass slap, dude. You gotta give it a fucking.
They were like, so I leaned back and I whacked this motherfucker on the ass. This horse turned inwards. The asshole who was holding the rope on the hind legs somehow let it go, and this thing turned right towards me, and it geared up to hit me in the fucking face. I ran away like a bitch. I dropped the rope. I backed up, and I did this like motion with my hands, and I made myself bigger, and the horse ran the fuck away. The horse takes off.
God damn, dude.
In the middle of that, I go off to the side, and my boss gets mad at me. He's like, "Hey, you fucking pussy! It's like a dog. Don't be scared of him. You tell him what." He goes, "You tell it what to do." He goes, "You don't fucking. What are you scared of? Are you scared of a horse? You don't be scared of a dog."
That's a big ass dog.
That's a big dog,
giant, dangerous fucking dog.
It's a Beethoven dog.
He tries to go over there and manhandle the horse, and the horse kicks him on the inside of his leg, and he ends up limping for like 2 weeks after that. Like he can't walk.
Yeah,
properly.
dude.
But he just got done telling me not to be afraid.
Fucking.
I'm over there with the owners, and they're the ones that are really like timid, and they're telling us to be nice to the horses. I go up and talk to them. I go, "Yeah, he's gonna have me taking care of these motherfuckers, man. I gotta like get over my fear, you know. If I'm gonna be taking care of horses, I can't be afraid of them." The owners look at me. They go, "Oh no, you should be very afraid. Like, you should be very. These are big animals, man. They will kill you. Like you should be very." They go, you like, "There's a way to be around these animals, but you should be afraid because they'll kill you in 2 seconds, man. If they get spooked, they'll attack you and they'll kill you. And if you're in there by yourself, you're just done. They're just this big animal that's just gonna keep stomping you."
Yeah.
So
that's lovely.
At what
That's
point
lovely.
when you were out there did you decide like I can't be here? Like I need to fucking get the fuck home.
You're good at jumping, man. When things start adding up, I was loyal, man. I really enjoyed being out there, and I liked that we were in the woods. I liked that we were hunting because there's a lot to it, man. It's not just you're growing weed. Now you're getting high all day, and all you're doing is working on weed all day.
Just waking up and doing dabs
all day.
morning?
I had a fucking dab rig at the bed. We were making dab too, so we just had these fridges with these sheets.
Yeah.
So I had a big cookie sheet.
Yeah.
And you just put that little motherfucker and you heat it up. And that's just not just it. He gave me my own car to drive around. You know what I mean? Like we had a.
So you earned the trust of everyone there.
Because I'm not a fucking punk. I'm not a snitch either. But also they knew I didn't have any. I didn't know any. If I knew people locally, they might not have trusted me. They knew I didn't have any reason. Like
You had no ties or connections.
I was like, and they saw, and he even say that. I found out a month in. We were working, and he goes, "Well, my usual policy is I blindfold people. I take them out at night. I have them work, and then I bring them back. So like." In the early hours when the sun's not out, he'll pick you up, blindfold you, take you to the mountain, have you work.
Oh, fuck.
Then blindfold you again, and then drop you off and pay you. Done.
Yeah.
I go, "You didn't blindfold me." He's just like, "Yeah, we had a different thing." I go, and I looked at him, I was like, "What do you mean we had a different thing?" I was like, "You didn't fucking know me." And he just kept like, he had this half smile. He goes, "It wasn't like that. I brought you to join the team." I go, I was like, "You took a chance." He goes, "Yes, I took a chance." Yeah. But he admitted, he goes, "Yeah, I took a chance." He's like, "You seem like a good dude, so I took a fucking chance." I was like, "All right, good. All right, motherfucker, good."
What if in reality he's like, "Oh, dude, I was hungover as fuck that
He
morning.
just wasn't thinking.
I was just too lazy. I forgot the blindfold. Oh, this is embarrassing."
His wife like belittled him. And was like, "You can't hire one person, can you?" He goes, "Oh, I will. You fucking watch. You watch, bitch." And he went out, "I'm gonna hire 2 people." And he got there, there's 2 guys didn't show the fuck up.
God damn it, dude! I can't come home empty-handed. Fuck.
What you find out, man, it's the same story with all those fucking things. They need you to be dependent on them. They're not trying to hook you up so you can take off into the sunset with a bunch of money.
Yeah.
If your goals are not oriented toward what they have going on, they're not going to help you. So what ends up happening is you start to find out from talking to people. I was like bought. I was so in, and I thought this was just one big happy family. I thought everybody was just getting along. I thought everybody was just cool and like getting along. And it was like, man, this is the shit. I'm about to make so much money. I kicked it with this one dude I was working with. I won't say his name. And out of nowhere, he was in a really bad mood that day. Ooh. And I told him, I was like, "Hey, man, you hungry?" He goes, "Yeah, I haven't eaten shit all day." And he's bitching. I go, "Well, let's go get some food, man." I spent the last of my little bit of money. We were getting money every week, but they were giving us $100 a week with the idea that once the grow came, we were all going to get a lot all kinds of money. That's how they get you. Do I shit you? But I didn't need anything. So they were feeding me. I wasn't buying my own food. But they were just shooting money so you had something. It's all bullshit.
So you just shut up.
I feel it.
But you're not getting treated bad. So I'm not getting fucking abused. In the middle of this, though, this dude, we're talking, and he turns to me and he just goes, "Man, are we friends?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I feel like we're friends." He's like, "Well, are you closer to me or are you closer to our boss? Like, what do you think? Like, are we more friends or are you more friends with him?" And I just like took. I knew what he was trying to tell me. I was like, "All right, he wants to share something with me." So I'm gonna go ahead and be like, "Me and you, man. Like me and you were
bud.
I feel like me and you were like closer to age." I was like, "So yeah, dude, I feel like me and you were much closer."
We're brothers.
I thought I was about to maybe learn something, and sure enough, this dude just broke the whole fucking wall down. He goes, "Well, guess what, man? We're leaving tonight. We're quitting. We're leaving. We're out of here." And I was like, "You and who?" And he started naming other people that were leaving. He's like, "No, we're fucking leaving, man. We're leaving with nothing." He's like, "He hasn't paid us," and he starts going through this whole thing. He's been here a year and a half. I've been here 8 months, and he starts breaking down how they've been just mistreated and how they haven't been getting paid and how it's not what I think it is. And I'm just like, oh, fucking, it was just the worst. goddamn moment that could have came. And he just like told me, he's like, Rob, we were told this, we were told that, and this motherfucker. And then they start telling me how afraid they are. Like, you can't say anything. You can't say anything because this will happen. And they're terrified of this man. And they're telling us like, we can't do anything about it. And they're saying, you can't say anything. And he keeps re-emphasizing to me, you can't say anything. You cannot say anything.
So this is like the fear of like,
they're gonna get fucking hurt.
Yeah, they're gonna get whacked.
And they're saying like straight up, like, you can't say anything. But he's telling me as a friend, like, I'm warning you because we're leaving tonight. Because I wasn't gonna say anything, dude. We were just gonna leave. But I was like, but I seen that you seem like a good guy. So I just want you to know, man, you should get what you need and get the fuck out of here. You really should. He's like, so we're gonna go back to the house. We're gonna pretend like everything's good. I'm gonna say a joke. You're gonna laugh. This motherfucker was so scared that he couldn't even like afford to play. He told me, he's like, you're gonna laugh at the joke I say. You're gonna go to bed in the RV and eat dinner by yourself, and then we're gonna fucking leave tonight. You can't say anything, man.
So it's like some weight in the water shit.
He was terrified.
crap.
He was terrified,
Damn.
and he was saying bye to me at the same time. Like, we were friends, so I was just like, oh man. And I just was. Where I was, so I realized I might have been zombified by it because I still wanted to talk to the person that he said he was leaving with. I go, well, what did he say? He goes, Rob, are you hearing me? We're leaving. And I couldn't accept.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to still talk to the other guy to see what he had thought.
Because you were so sold on what you were doing.
I thought everything was good. I thought we were all together. And they're like, no, we fucking hate this shit. We can't wait to leave. We got to go. And you should go too. Because this shit is worse than you think it is.
God damn.
And I go, that's not good. And they were like, dude, you got to be very careful, man. And then the way that unraveled is interesting, man, because it went exactly how he said. We get back to the house. I get out of the car.
He did a yo mama joke.
No, he did. He had been doing this. He was a funny fucking guy. He was a former heroin addict. He was doing this thing. He was doing this thing called Darf. He kept going Darf. He kept doing this Darf. And we started going through New Jack City. You ever seen New Jack City?
Yeah.
And we started replacing words in the movie with the word Darf. And we started. Dude, we were so fucking high. We were just high all day. And we just kept singing like New Darf City. We kept like, and we started replacing key lines from the movie with the word Darf.
Darf.
We're like, there's all this other shit. Nino Brown. And I was like, you're not the Darf of all. Like all day we just started, and me and him would make each other laugh all day, just replacing movie lines with the word Darf. And we created this whole thing, the New Darf City. We started this whole thing. Motherfucker was funny. The last time I see him, that's when he did this whole thing. Like, I'm gonna tell a joke.
Yeah.
I was never seen him serious like this before.
Yeah.
And we had been in this silly place together for months. We had just been goofy and joking and getting high all day. He tells me, he goes, Rob. I go, he made like a Darf. He said Darf. He made a goofy. And I giggled and I walked away. And as I walked, I was like, it's the last time I'm gonna see you, man. Like, it made me sad. I'm like, he did his little, he did his reference to what we've been joking about.
The last Darf.
But that's exactly what the fuck it was.
I think I found the title to this episode. The last
Dude,
Darf.
it was sad. It killed me. That's a moment I had to like crawl away. I couldn't even like deal with what was going on. I'm like, this
So
is
before you get to the story, I wanted to ask you, while you were out there, did you witness anybody go missing? Did you?
What kind of fucking question is that to put on a podcast?
That's a loaded question,
did you
dude.
hear
That's a
about?
great question to have on a podcast.
Not did you witness, but did you hear stories about people going missing?
Yes.
And that was that guy's main concern because you guys all hear the same stories, right? I can only imagine.
No,
the fear,
I can't.
dude.
I can't. I just.
He can't disclose too
I'm
much
not saying
about
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. I don't even know where to fucking go. I'm like, I want to be careful and shit.
Yeah.
But and I'm not saying names or anything.
Yeah.
But
still.
one thing in particular is hearing about people that used to work there that weren't there anymore, and then finding out like, oh, okay, that person didn't leave on good terms, and then you find about another person. I go, okay, it's kind of murky.
Yeah.
Why that person left, and then you hear references to people that I'm sleeping in the bed they used to sleep on.
Oh, that's weird.
Like some mice and men shit.
I'm not even fucking with you, man.
Damn.
That's where I was at. I'm like, okay, so they named somebody, and they're talking about how they dealt with that person.
Yeah.
And I'm just kicking it like, oh, fuck. And what hits you is you go, it can happen to you too, man.
Yeah.
You're not immune to this. You're not the coolest guy on the fucking planet. One's there. You're not protected by this invisible orb. Like, you can also end up pretty much a slave, man. And so I didn't even tell you, a week before they left, which, by the way, that was a whole sad thing. Like, a week before that, there was another guy we worked with who went missing for a day. And when they found him, he was in the attic. He was tweaking, and he thought people were after him. He thought people were hunting him and trying to poison him.
Oh, shit.
Apparently, he did meth that had arsenic in it.
Oh,
so he poisoned himself by shooting the meth. It's not good. So he had something bad. He went crazy. But what ended up happening was he wanted to leave and they wouldn't let him leave. So he wanted.
Yeah, that's a lie. But you can't have a dude like that out.
It's more. It's not just that he wanted to go, and they were saying you're not going anywhere.
It's like some Ozark.
You're
shit.
you're going to finish what you started, and then you can go. Because he promised them he'd do a certain job for them, and he didn't finish it, and he fucked the job up on top of that. So they were like, "You're not going anywhere." I watched an adult man look at me and all of us, and he was like, "Dude, I just want to go, man. Please, if you guys can just take me to a hospital." And they're like, "You're not fucking going anywhere, man."
That must be fucking heart wrenching.
It's you have to understand though. At the moment when it was happening, I'm drinking in a circle of people, and we're making fun of him because okay. So let me tell you the whole story. His nickname was Junebug. I call him Junebug. All right. But then when he started fucking around with drugs, we started calling him June Dookie.
June Dookie.
And then when we called him with the meth, we called him June Pookie. We just kept fucking. We were fucking with him full. So we thought he was faking it. He was just trying to get attention because he was limping and he was throwing a fit and he was getting mad. But every time our boss would show up, he would bitch up and get really scared and keep trying to say, "Can I talk to you on the side, please? Can I talk to you on the side?" He was basically begging for to let me. He's like, please, if you could just please let me leave, and he wouldn't let him leave. But he was keeping him saying, "He's like," but they gave the inference, like their idea was, no, we're not keeping it. What we're doing is we're trying to make him finish the job so that we can pay him a good amount of money, and then because we don't want to send him home broke.
Oh, so they're trying to sympathize with like trying to
punishing this dude. They were punishing him, dude. They were punishing him right in front of us. So that's a week before they left. So leading up to that, so we're sitting in a circle drinking, calling him these nicknames. That's in that circle while we're drinking is when they called him June Pookie. So I couldn't help it. I started laughing my ass off.
I'd laugh too.
Dude, it was like within an hour after that though, the mode changed to, oh no, this is fucking like he's not just a friend that they're poking, like they're fucking with, like they're not letting this dude go.
Yeah,
and
so it was the realization.
After that, I was like, oh no, this is not.
He's legit a caged animal at this point.
Yeah, and
I heard that there's more slaves today than there were in the 1700s.
And that's a trip. Talking about human trafficking and shit like that.
Well, but also, the promise of
like they're legal slaves.
Legal slaves
like, out in. Like,
they're called interns.
They did that.
They're called fucking unpaid interns.
They always did that. It's a promise of better. And also, you take somebody from their native land and you put them in a foreign, pretty much you take them to Mars. If you got kidnapped and taken to Mars, you're going to do whatever the Martians tell you because it's not even your environment. Yeah. So you're going to eat what they give you and you're going to do what they tell you.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not something that feels good to say.
I think in Egypt, there's slaves now.
There probably is.
After they took down Gaddafi.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Isn't it technically indured servitude or something like that?
It's layers. Not even back when slavery was popular, they had different levels to what would make you. Dude, back when slavery was a thing, that shit was true. So slavery was trending in the 1700s.
Yeah. Hashtag.
No, there's different types of servitude. There's people that would break a law in Africa, and then you would be required to be someone's servant for a certain amount of time. Yeah. So you need to work off that thievery. And now you go but you still have a wife, kids, and you still have your own house, but you work for me until you pay off that debt. Yeah. So there's different layers of servitude. Yeah. The servitude I was dealing with was drugs. So you got drug addicts, man. You got people that made shitty mistakes. Every single person that I traveled along, everybody I was on the road with, everybody I worked with in that situation,
right,
was avoiding home or they did something bad where they couldn't go home. Yeah. So you got these people that are just not living right, man. So you can take advantage of that. Yeah. And if you just feed people, a friend of mine got stabbed working on the mountain. She got stabbed in her side. Oh. But she told me, she was like, I lived on 3 different grows. They'd beat me with bats. They would throw things at me, but they gave us meth, so we stayed. Oh, I'm like, Jesus Christ. She was literally my friend. She's a beautiful person. She was a slave because she was getting meth. And she's telling me like, no, they beat the fuck out of us. They would abuse us, but we got paid in meth and food, so we just stayed.
Isn't that how Tiger King got one of his boyfriends?
That's the type of shit.
Feeding him meth and shit.
Kept feeding them meth, dude.
It's a mental thing because if you feel like if whatever you have beyond this is not better, you're like, why am I going to leave? This guy's buying me dirt bikes and guns and shit. Like,
well, that girl who got her fucking arm gnawed off, like she came back and it came to find out that they were all doing meth together. Yeah. And like,
Tiger King.
Because her whole thing was loyalty. She's like, yeah, but she came from a place where she was probably having a really hard time. They helped her. So her loyalty is to them. Why wouldn't it be?
I never looked at Tiger King like that.
No, that's what it is. I'm telling you, and this will help me out. So I was looking at it, but the thing is, the way I looked at it, I was like, dude, you didn't save me from the fucking streets, dude. I was like a traveler. You're not safe. And he didn't like that. He wanted to always frame him having me live there as he was saving my fucking life from like the universe. I was like, you're not saving me. Yeah. I was like, I'm here to work and do shit. And then when it started getting in my head, and then him leaving. you know, it all just kind of adds up to where you're right, man. That's one of those things where like you can make an elaboration of slavery and you can enslave yourself in a second. You can make yourself just fucking where you're like
slave to the system.
Well, it's I had like a Truman Show moment earlier. You know how like
shit.
in Truman Show he was locked in his little town.
Yeah.
And you don't go beyond your town because you don't need to go out there. It's the ocean. The ocean will kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world is unsafe.
My car, I've always been having trouble with it. And I'm just like, you know what? Fucking, I can drive this thing wherever I want. And as I drove over here, I'm like, dude, the world's bigger than I thought it was. I was like, I'm convincing myself that my world is 6 blocks wide. And because I'm afraid that my car is going to break down. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my job. I'm afraid that I'm going to be late to work. So I've shrunk my world and I've been convinced that I have this small plane of existence to be in. But it's like, no, dude, you can go anywhere. And maybe the thing of me protecting that vehicle is what's stopping the next vehicle.
That's why I admire
and me protecting this fucking bucket is what's stopping the next better bucket.
Yeah, I've always admired
profound.
like my friends who just go to like a different state and just start working there. Like I had friends that just moved to Texas and they're just working.
And you go with the idea that
Oregon or
whoever's there is
Washington.
going to take care of you, right?
No.
I'm not saying you. What I'm saying is
Some people
when
will
you
go
take a
with
job,
that,
right? Let's say someone offered you production work or something like that. They would come to New York City.
Yeah.
The idea is that they're not going to fuck you over when you get there. You're going to get there, they're going to hook you up, and they're going to give you work.
Oh,
What if you get there, there's no work? They lied to you.
Right.
They made you think that they had this whole empire. There's no empire. And by the way, the fridge is always empty.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're all working part-time at this warehouse, and it's shit. And everybody wants to go. So you get sold on this thing, and you buy into it, and before you know it, now you feel like you can't leave.
Yeah, man, you get Craigslist.
You're like, yeah, but I don't want to go home and after 3 months and being in New York City, like I'm a failure.
Yeah.
So now you're an intern in New York City at some shit radio show. You're working 6 jobs or whatever the fuck the number is because you don't want to go home. Same as the people on the grow. Same as people hitchhiking.
Yeah.
You don't want to go home and say, I failed.
I fucked up.
I need to come home. There's a few people I knew that had a sister or a mother or a grandmother and they just didn't want to go home. They're like, yeah, but I don't want to go home broke.
I remember.
You know what I mean? It's sad,
remember.
dude. You just don't want to go home a failure. You don't want to be a fucking loser. So you stay where you're at. I might as well be a loser in the middle of nowhere than go home and have nothing. Especially when you get on the phone and you tell your relatives. One guy I worked with told his dad he was going to buy him a new truck. So he can't leave now.
That's the
because
worst
he
part,
told
dude.
his father, who was going in and out of the hospital, I'm going to buy you a brand new truck when I see you. Watch. So now he can't fucking leave until that truck manifests itself. And the dream is dependent on these pieces of shit who never intended on paying you anyways.
God damn, dude.
So there's different types of slavery,
Yeah.
man. The way I laid it out right there, that's not slavery, but it is. It's like legally it's not.
So what ended up happening when they left?
So the next morning I wake up and we go to normal.
Oh,
And-
so you didn't leave.
oh, fuck no. Bro. It's like, I wasn't. I no.
You wanted to see how it was gonna fucking play out.
He had a good point. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me back up.
Yeah, because I was like,
He's
wait,
like-
I'm waiting for him to be like, yeah, we busted out.
Hold on, I was like, yeah.
Fuck
I just realized he's giving me like the reasonable perspective. He's like, so you left, right? I was like, no, actually, I stayed. This guy told me that, and you're right. After like the most chaotic week, I didn't leave. I stayed. I was like, oh shit,
fuck.
because they were about to steal and leave. So if I left, I stole too.
Oh no,
So
dude,
I'm not.
fuck that. No.
Now again, what did I say about mental slavery?
Yeah.
Now I can't. Now there's another layer of I can't leave.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. So now I'm a grown man telling myself, I can't go. I gotta stay. Stupid.
Oh,
So,
dude, you gave yourself a life curfew.
dude, I straight up told
So
myself.
weird,
I told myself a loyalty too. I was like, he's
Yeah.
not fucking me over right now. He hasn't. But then it just kept going. And the next day, we all woke up together. I'd wake up and take care of the horses and all the animals. Which, by the way, I took care of the horses. I took care of them in dark.
Oh, what?
The sun wasn't up when I took care of the horses. When I fed the horses, the sun was not up. And if the sun was up, there's so many trees and mountains, you can't see the sun.
What
You
the
just
fuck?
so when I went out with hay on my shoulder and opened their gate, they used to punk me and yank it off my shoulder. They would just take the fucking hay from me. And then my boss would drive by and he was like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you putting hay on the floor? I was like, I didn't put it on the floor. They took it from me. He goes, man, he's like, stop letting them punk you, Rob. He's just taking me like I'm getting bullied at school. I'm like, dude, you have 3 horses.
Stand up for
Which,
yourself.
by the way, even once the horses started listening to me, they would still run in circles around me while I filled their manger and while I gave them water and shit. They still ran in circles around
like
me.
sharks, dude.
Yeah, even when they liked me because they're waiting for me to give them their manger. They want to eat. So even when I got used to the horses, I was still like, these motherfuckers are all around me right now. And at any moment, they might pass me.
And
Their back's facing me. They go, "Brah," and just hit me in the face. So the fear never went away, dude. But what ended up happening was I became more and more like firm. So you just raise your voice and you really do just say like you're an animal. Leave me like not. And the first time I fed the horses, they got out. So every time, every time after that got easier because they didn't get out. So he sent me out there. He goes, you gotta get up at fucking 5 a.m, do your rounds all around. Then the last thing, feed the horses, and then we'll get going, man. We'll start our day. And I get out there, I open the gate, they pushed the gate open, and they fucking went out onto the road. And I had to do this running back and forth with my arms out, and I ran
doing the
left
YMCA,
and right. Yeah, I
dude.
shit you not. I shit you not. I just went left and right like a fucking video game, and I just corralled them. I corralled them back into the gate. Then I closed the gate. The whole time I'm yelling my boss's name. I'm just yelling for him. He can't hear me because he's still like getting up and showering. I'm yelling back to the property to get him to come help me because these fucking horses are just getting ready to take off down the road.
God damn.
Dude. And I got him back in, and after that I never trusted them again. And I had my own system. I go, I'll put the fucking hay down, open the gate, pick it up, and then like keep it from them. So I just kept the hay.
Yeah.
And that was my way of asserting myself. Was like, no, you can't have it until I feed it to you. And then they calmed down. They left me the fuck alone, and they were calmer. But the next morning, the whole same thing. You're feeding the horses, doing all my shit. So I'm already got past that battle now. I have a new fucking battle.
Because you already know what's about to happen.
And the whole day is we end up meeting up with each other eventually. We all end up at the same spot.
Yeah.
So they're up at this cabin. I'm over here on this property. This is the day after they say they're leaving. My boss starts calling them. They're not answering. And I'm sitting there pretending like I don't know why they're not answering. So that's the start of this day. I'm sitting in the car with the guy they just stole from. And I'm pretending like I don't know these motherfuckers took off the night before. So this is how, as good a friend as he was being, he's also a bad friend. So I would rather him not fucking told me, dude. I would have rather them just kept that to themselves and not put me in the middle of it. But so I'm sitting there in the truck and pretending like, oh man, that's crazy. Why aren't they answering? I'm pretending like I don't know they're gone.
I don't know.
It just gets worse. And then we're like going, he keeps calling them. He's leaving voicemails. He's like, all right, put the phone in your pocket. But he's getting mad at them, telling them like, keep the phone in your pocket. He's leaving voicemails.
Oh, God.
But he's being joking, but he's getting more and more mad.
Guys, it's a good joke.
You joke, but that's why he was acting. He was kind of like, you look at his phone and go.
He's like, Darf.
Yeah, Darf. Good one, right? Anyways, so can we back to normal? No, it wasn't fucking happening, dude. Nobody was answering. Nobody was answering.
God damn.
And there was a lady that owned the property.
Yeah.
She was the one that owned the property, and she went to check on the house. As I'm like standing next to him, we're eating like breakfast. He answers the phone from that lady. And he goes, hello? What do you mean no one's at the house? And right as he said that, I turned and I walked away from him. And I'm walking, listening to him behind me boiling. He's like, what do you mean? The dogs are doing what? What do you mean they're pissing all over the floor? And this motherfucker turned his phone off and he took off. And he just left. And I just walked out and I pretended like and I was like, everything good? And he just ignored me and he drove off. and I just like walked away pretending like I had no idea. Like, and he probably knew too. He's like, they probably said something to Rob. But I didn't steal. I didn't do shit. I just didn't snitch on my friends. That's all it was.
Well, yeah, what they steal?
Yeah, because when you're kind of
they were at the fucking. That's where everything was. They stole. They told.
It was the storehouse.
No, they stole. They fucking
dude.
They didn't steal. They took
dude.
They took pound. They had pounds of dab and they took pounds of weed. They took a bunch of shit and they loaded it in their fucking car. I didn't see my boss for like 5 hours, and he didn't call us either. He was just gone. And I was at the grill like, this motherfucker, I hope he didn't find. And I'm just praying in my house, I hope they got away, man. I hope they're not at the fucking gas station right now. And he pulls up and sees them and beats their asses and all this shit happens.
Or these motherfuckers left a note saying,
Rob knew. Yes, we told Rob. He's not loyal.
How far do you run?
Huh?
How far do you run after that?
What do you mean run?
You steal that, and then you escape.
Interstate?
How far do you run?
Cross
Definitely,
country?
not to the next gas station.
Who escaped? Them?
Yeah.
Oh, they went home.
How far do you need to get?
Well, they didn't.
Exactly.
This is where they're dumb.
When do you catch your breath?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean physically running?
No.
They drove.
When you're like, we're safe now.
Dude, they never were safe. Even when they went, the reason that they met this dude is because they had friends of friends.
Oh.
So my boss
Dumbass.
was from the same city as them. So one of them sent a Facebook message to somebody trying to get rid of the shit that was a friend of his.
They really darked this one up, dude.
Yeah, that's a fucking A. Full the whole thing. But they didn't. I don't think they planned it. I think they got frustrated and they just made a move. And they just did. They were just like, let's go, man. Fuck it. I don't want to deal with this shit. They got mad and they didn't make planning and they were afraid to steal. And at the last second, somebody said, fuck it. And they just started loading shit up and then they took off. He was fucking furious. And the message he got was a friend of theirs who said, hey, I just got this message saying he's trying to sell me your shit and that he stole from you. What do you want to do? Oh my God. And I'm in the car again, just praying. I'm
Praying that your name doesn't get-
Please, man. It's not just me though. My thinking was, I was like, dude, I hope he gets away, because I liked both of them, dude.
Yeah,
I couldn't stand the thought of them being brought back.
Yeah.
Or something like that happening.
Yeah.
It scared me, man.
It's like watching a high-speed chase and you're just hoping they don't hit the spike rails, and you're just like,
or hoping they do hit the spike rails. Let's be honest. I'm just fucking, but I'm scared, dude. I'm sitting there while this whole thing's going on, where there, and everyone the day before was friends and hugging and all kicking and talking shit, and the next day everyone's calling them pieces of shit. It's like, I'm fucking pieces of shit, thieving motherfuckers. They should fucking, and they just talking down to these people that we were all friends with the day before.
God damn.
And I'm like, okay, now I guess they're pieces of shit. And sure enough, I ended up talking the same way, because I'm like, you fucking, because I was mad that they stole. He acted like they weren't going to steal, and then he decided to steal last second. So now I'm implicated in a thievery.
Yeah. God damn, dude.
And then, so you asked me earlier, what was the turning point this week? And also within that week, I worked with another guy who my boss owed money to, and he broke the whole thing down for me.
Yeah.
so it sounds like you were just getting insider information
Of
for like
course.
2 weeks.
Because of course, if I'm working and just focusing on what I'm doing, you don't think about it. But then when you have these side moments where someone leans in and goes, dude, what the fuck is going on? And
Dude.
especially if they've been there a year longer than you,
Yeah.
you want results. You go, well, what have you gotten after a year? And if they don't have anything, that's something you should really think about. You can't tell yourself, well, I'm going to do better than you. Watch. They're going to hook me up. No, stupid. Like,
Fuck.
but no, like within a week, all that added up. It took me another month to get out of there after that too, by the way. Like to part ways to where we were
Safely?
good.
Yeah.
No, not even just, I shook his fucking hand and had him drop me off.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
I wasn't going to sneak off in the middle of the night. And he told me when I left, he goes, dude, everyone steals. Everyone scampers off in the middle of the night. Or they come to me crying, begging me to send them home. He's like, you were the only one that came up to me like a fucking man and just said, I want to leave. You're the only one that came up to me and said, I don't want to be here anymore. Which is why you can't leave. he goes,
I was like, he's setting it up.
I shit you not. He goes, dude, I need someone like you up here. He goes,
This is why you can't.
you can't. This is why you're perfect for this job. He told me, he goes, dude, you can't go. And he kept saying it over the course of time. He's like, dude, I was doing numbers in my head. I was keeping up what was going on. And every time I did something good or whatever, he would notice it and go, see, that's why you can't go, man. I need a guy like you.
Sounds like a McDonald's manager.
Dude,
with
he
some-
almost
pay me,
with
bro.
some-
Thank
with-
you.
Yeah, with one fucking register guy is like, he knows how to do math and shit. He's like, dude, no, I need you, man.
You are a man.
You could be assistant
It's so
manager,
bullshit.
dude.
The way you prep that lettuce, dude. Oh my god, I need someone like you. I'm like, you don't. Fuck you.
In a
But,
boy's
dude,
dream.
who-
In a
who-
boy's dream.
Just sitting weird on a mountain and running around on a boy's dream. Fuck you guys. It's fucking implicate your former boss and go to jail for decades in a boy's dream. Fuck you guys.
Man, me and my friends really Darf this one up in a boy's dream.
Shut up. Oh man, it got bad quick, and when it happens, that's when you go like, if I needed them, you can't fucking go, man. If you
It's
need
because
them.
I remember
By the
talking
way,
to you.
that was day one.
Yeah.
They stole. That was day one of me going missing.
I re-
that
yeah,
was day
that- I
one.
remember.
I stopped answering my phone.
Oh,
I
shit.
stopped taking
Oh,
messages.
because you knew shit was
I was
hot.
like, I can't
it was
talk.
too hot.
I
Yeah.
was done. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I stopped telling people how I was doing. I just went missing for a
And
while.
probably
I just
like
stopped talking to people.
3 weeks later is when, because the thing is like, I would talk to Robert at that point probably once every 2 weeks.
Was that the weekend of
Frank's 21st birthday?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, maybe he's just busy. But then like they were like,
I was
no.
busy. I was fucking
They were
busy.
like, no, dude, like he's fucking missing, and we know he's somewhere in those
MIA.
hills.
What
but-
was bad is when friends of mine started calling my mom. They're like,
Ooh,
hey, we
yeah.
haven't heard from Robert. Is he all right? And they're like, we thought you guys knew where. Like, no one knows where he's at. And then they called my friend, the one person I knew in that area, and she didn't know where the fuck I was at. So nobody knew where I was at, dude. I wasn't gonna tell anybody. Why would I? Because then something happens, and then you come to find out what happened.
Yeah.
So it was better that I just finish. And also, I was confident. Trust me, if I was in a chain around my neck, I would call for fucking help. All right.
Yeah.
If I see a phone, I'm going to that phone. I'm calling cops or something. Where I was at was I need to just leave this shit clean because I got myself into it. I can leave.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to leave and have this guy wanting me to come back or trying to get me to come back or having
Yeah.
something on me or whatever the fuck. So the whole thing needed to be broken off clean. And that's when I got a hold of you guys when I left. So I called you guys when I was on the bus.
So the first day that shit happens, you cut all communication with
stopped.
everybody.
I was done talking to people.
So he says you can't leave. What? So I'm pretty sure the 2 days before you decided to bounce, something happened, and you were just like, nope. Like Escape from Alcatraz.
You quote a movie. The part that came to my head was because I was just toughing it out, and he reduced my responsibilities. He went to the point where we had picked up these trimmers. There was the Spanish people. There was like 8 of them. They were all from fucking Spain and Brazil, and one of them was from Colombia. They were beautiful fucking people, and they lived at the cabin with me. So and I was their like I was like their supervisor. I was the one weighing out their weed as they trimmed it, and I was kicking it with them and making sure they had what they needed. You know what I mean? That's how we did it.
Assistant manager.
Yeah, but in the middle of that, he told me, he's like, you don't have to do shit. He's like, I need you just to answer the phone. He's like, that's valuable to me. Is that somebody can answer the phone and tell me what's going on, because he didn't want to be on the property if something happened. So now, and then they started also, you start getting these little vibes of like, all right, I might not even get fucking paid for this shit. And there's more I can tell you, dude. I can tell you there's a lot of things that happened in that one little week or two, and that made me go, okay, it's time to go.
So yeah, so like 2 days, you're just like.
What happened was, it was the movie I thought of was The Shining.
Oh my god!
Remember in The Shining where it would just start Tuesday, and it would just be Tuesday. That's where I went. I ended up just like, I would wake up and go, why the fuck am I still here? Because 2 weeks after they did all their shit, because it took a month to go. A couple weeks after that happened, I told him, I was like, I need to go be with family, man. I was like, I can't. I'm not gonna get better here with you guys. I need to go be with people I know. He didn't want that, so it ended up being this whole back and forth, and he just started doing more and more to get me to be comfortable staying there. What happened, like Willie's asking, is 2 days before, I started waking up and just going like, why the fuck am I still here? This is stupid. It's not, I didn't trust any of them there, and I just wanted to leave. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to go. I was ready to go.
That's me every morning, dude.
There you go. So where we're at though is like,
that's my morning
the nearest town is about maybe 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And we're 20 miles from that town.
Oh fuck. Oh. And you're on top of this mountain.
And I saw police maybe one time when I was out there, and they told me that like, cops only come if you're hurting a kid or if you got a dead body. They go, we don't. Yeah, a lot of people do their own. It was an old Mormon settlement.
Yeah.
So the family that descended from the original Mormon settlers, they were like the militia out there. They were the ones that would take care of shit, and if something was going on, they were the ones that would police it, which is not. It's never good. You can never have one family deciding who gets to get their ass beat today or gets to get killed or whatever the fuck.
Mormon mafia, dude.
It's there was an RV that I used to have to drive by every day, and it belonged to somebody who was he was accused of being a pedophile, dude. He was whoever he was, he got accused of being a pedophile. We're driving in the car with this lady one time. We're going by this mountain, and she starts weeping, crying. She starts crying, and she starts saying about how her son. She's like, my son's buried out here. They killed my son. She's just weeping, and I'm in the back seat while she's in the passenger side, and my boss is driving, and my boss is just kind of staring forward, but he's like comforting with his arm, She's crying and crying. I get in the passenger side, we're driving back. He goes, dude, her son was a goddamn pedophile. And he knew the whole story, because he was like, this fucking son was a pedophile, dude. He ain't out here. He's over there. And so he knew where the actual body was buried. He goes, no, he's in the trunk of a car over at this one place.
They handled that shit like militia style.
She wasn't accepting that the local residents made their own decision to kill him, and they invited him to go smoke. They invited this dude to go smoke weed, and then he just never came back. Whoa. So the mother just lives this life where she's just like, I heard someone told me my son was buried on this mountain, and when she gets out of the car, he just shaking his head. He's like, she ain't fucking buried out here. He's over in the trunk of a car over here. He knew exactly like the whole story. He's like, Steph was fucking with little girls, so they took care of him.
Dude.
Oh my,
that's fucking crazy, dude.
So, but
what the fuck?
When I go to this property, I drive by his old residence every day. He had his RV he used to live in. That was probably the place where he closed the door and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna
the pedophile."
A pedophile?
That's his RV.
Yeah. Huh?
His RV.
His Okay, I didn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Wait, yeah, what
you said pedophile.
Well, I'm thinking about a crying mother and her dead son.
I know.
He just makes that.
Let me get the zinger in there real quick.
Levity. Nah, that's where you're at though, and you realize like, okay, they kind of like they take care of shit out here on their own, and that's not good.
And what if they make a decision about me?
Why wouldn't they? If they decided that I didn't need to be, they might cry while they do it. Oh, thanks so much, guys. Thanks for caring.
And we're gonna old yeller this bitch, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking done.
Damn, dude.
2 days after those motherfuckers stole, they woke me up one morning, and my boss was in a bad mood. I didn't know why he was in a bad mood. It turns out he was just mad that they stole. Oh. I thought he was mad at me. He was being really like short. He usually always came out and was like, "Good morning, Rob. What's up, man?" But this morning he didn't say shit. He was staring, dude. And he wasn't talking to me. And he was being really mad. He was criticizing me take care of his animal. He's like, "Dude, fuck, what are you doing?" he was like going in and like getting mad and like helping move the animal, but he was criticizing. He's like, take care of my dogs. Come on, man. And I'm like, why does he hate me right now? I was like, what's going on?
What did I do?
In the middle of that, and this is 2 days after they left, and I'm just in the middle of that. I usually always sat in the front of in the truck with him. This day he had me sit right behind him, like scoot in the back of his truck and like close the door.
Oh hell no!
And they all got in, and they all crowded in. They go, come on, let's go. And they didn't tell me where we were going. We just started driving.
Oh no,
Fuck
dude.
that!
We
Dude.
just started-
That's like that scene in Casino where they take Joe Pesci to the cornfield.
I'm driving. I'm just like, oh. Fucking in my head I'm like, no,
This is it.
but also I'm like, oh, they probably like they're gonna fuck. I was like we're about to go to a barn, and both of those here's how I imagined it. We're driving and we're going somewhere we never went before, so we're just driving and I'm stuffed behind my boss and he's driving mad and everyone's kind of being quiet, and I'm like, oh no. And in the middle I go, we're gonna go to a barn. The 2 guys that stole are going to be in the barn tied to chairs. And they're going to go, Robert knew. And then they're going to put me in a 3rd chair. Or they're going to hang me by a hook. And they're just going to punch me in the dick till I die. And I'm just terrified. We get to the spot. It turns out we were beginning harvest. And we went to this random property and we cut a bunch of shit down. That's what ended up happening.
So you were just it was
You're
paranoia.
just scared.
I was terrified because they didn't say where we were going. And then he
Yo.
told me, he goes, I didn't want to tell you guys the truth, but they didn't just take weed. They took dab. I go, oh man. And then he told me that day, he's like, in a bad mood all day, Rob. And he told me, he goes, I didn't want to tell anybody, man, but they took more than I said they took. I go, that's why you're mad? He goes, yeah, man, I feel betrayed. They were like my friends. I was like, well, I understand. And I ended up like kicking it with my boss, pretending like I don't understand why they stole from him. But that's why he was mad, is because that was going on in his head. And he didn't want to tell anybody. He was like, he wanted people to think they just took a few pounds of weed. He's like, no, they took dab too.
Yeah,
Which
because
one sheet's like
he
$5
doesn't want
grand.
anyone to think that they could get away with even more.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel good to tell people like I got jacked. And you got to tell, and then he knew other people that were aware of it, and they were all keeping up with him on how he was handling it. So that doesn't feel good. You tell people like, I didn't get for 12 grand, I got for fucking 30 grand. Like,
God,
oh, no.
fuck.
So that's why he was mad. But that was like there was the next morning when I told you I woke up and was pretending like, and then the next morning after that was when they stuffed me in this fucking truck and just had me going with them, and we ended up in this random place. And that was when we started cutting shit down.
I would have broke down in that truck.
Dude,
I
I
would have
Nah,
fucking.
man.
No, dude, all you were behind your boss, right? Just kind of like lean over. Hey, are you mad?
It started just like
It's okay.
start massaging.
Yeah, start massaging
hey,
your shoulder.
hey, big guy, you're a little tense up here in the shoulders. Huh? Take it easy.
So like, when did you devise your plan to like leave? Like,
There was no plan. It happened on its own, man. That shit happened.
It just happened,
It's
dude.
I started not wanting to be there.
Oh.
What ended up happening was, especially from hitchhiking, I was wearing these black boots. And these black boots they looked good. They were good for working, but I didn't realize they weren't the right type of shoes. I needed to have flat shoes because the size of my feet.
yeah.
I started having no feeling in my toes.
Oh,
And I started waking up in the middle of the night, like I couldn't feel my feet. I started having all these, and I started having exhaustion issues. I started having all these issues.
Oh, fuck.
And when I told somebody I worked with, they reminded me that I had been told I was pre-diabetic a couple years before. So I got it in my head. Oh fuck, I'm dying from diabetes.
God
This is it. I'm gonna
damn
die.
it.
I told my boss, and they took it very serious. They looked at each other. His brother was like, "Not good. Rob can die." They said just like this fucking if his feet are hurting, Robert can die.
Yeah.
They said just like that. And then they gave me the keys to the car, this better car that can drive long distance. So I had the Jeep, and then they gave me this little Ford Explorer, and they told me, "Dude, go to the hospital." At first they took me to the clinic, and the clinic was like, "Yeah, you're fucking. There's something going on with you. You need to go to get your vitals."
Oh, shit.
Then they gave me a car to drive by myself, and I took off up to Grants Pass. I went to this emergency room, and I was waiting for them to do my blood test and tell me like, you have all these problems. And they just went ahead and sat me down. They're like, "Hey man, what the fuck have you been doing?" I was like, "What do you mean?" They go, "You are having like your whole body is having issue. Like it's not diabetes. Like your blood sugar is actually normalized. It's actually better than when last time you got it tested. Like what have you been doing for work?" And I explained to them what I've been doing and everything. Like, have you been dealing with a lot of stress? Like, yeah, there's a lot of stress.
You could say it's a lot.
I fear for my life.
I fear for my life every day. And they were like, "Dude, whatever you've been doing is what's doing your health a bad disservice right now. And you are
shit.
going to continue to have bad health." And like my skin was acting up because I got my skin condition and shit. I'm just dealing with all this bullshit. I go back and my boss is like, "So what's up, man? What did they say about your health?" And I go, "Dude, they said my diabetes is..." No shame, motherfuckers.
No shame,
That's right.
dude. Hey,
That's
the
right.
perfect excuse because
I came back and I said, "Oh man, they said diabetes, man. I'm
Diabe-
fucking my feet are about to fall out."
Fucking diabetes
Like,
kicked in.
and he goes, "Oh no!" I go, "I know, right? Guess I gotta go." And they're just like, and he was like, "Oh man, that's terrible." And I go, dude, I can't wear these boots anymore. They said like the work is fucking. I was like, dude, I can't be here no more. But I was telling a half truth.
Yeah.
The truth was I did need to stop working for this man. But it wasn't because of fucking diabetes.
No.
It was because he was working us like slaves and bringing us chimichangas and Coca-Colas at fucking 2 PM after working all morning. Imagine you have your breakfast and you're waiting for food and food comes. It's grocery store chimichangas and Coca-Colas.
Like the microwave ones.
It's
and shit.
fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But our position got better because then we started hunting deer and we started slaughtering hogs.
Oh,
And so
shit.
we ended up with fucking venison. We ended up with goddamn hog meat. We had sausage and bacon and shit. Dude, we started making stews all the time. We'd cut up carrots and potatoes. And
It
mix
sounds
with
like
deer
there
meat.
was good points.
They have
many good
venison at
points.
Sprouts.
Dude,
I was
I'm
gonna pick
telling
that up.
you.
too.
There you go.
you're like you're all about that right now too,
Yeah.
right?
Dude,
I know. to
Dude,
be
we were
honest,
late.
yeah.
It's like we have like the same story here.
Dude, that's
But,
pretty cool though.
yeah, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
like,
it's an experience for
We
sure.
had go-karts and shit. We had fucking horses.
Hold on. You had go-kart?
They had this go-kart. They had this go-kart and these hills they had made, and you get in the side, and my boss was the one that drove like a maniac, and he seemed like he was trying to kill us because he would do these jumps and he wouldn't be satisfied if we landed too easy, and he would keep doing these fucking. He'd go, okay, let's do it again, and he'd do another round. We go down this mountain, and then we
Them
go up this
Duke-
side, and we do a jump.
Is them
go in
Duke
there.
boys
I
again.
shit you not, dude, I shit you not. But it was fun, and they gave me a car, and they were talking about future things and things were gonna get better. You're being sold on some shit, dude, and I don't need them. So let's be honest, I didn't need to be out there, and that's where my head started going. I was like, yeah, there's all these good things, but he started making it easier for me to be there, and he started trying to sell me on the idea that they were going to get me healthy.
Interesting.
He changed to, look, man, like, we like you. You're a great guy. We can help you, man. We can get your skin better.
He was trying to groom your ass.
He was grooming.
He was
me.
grooming you,
Because
dude.
let's say if he got my skin
Crystalia.
better, I would feel like I owed it. Yeah, I would feel like I owed him a debt.
Oh, yeah.
If he took care of me and did something good like that, I would feel a debt.
You can make a
toward him.
6-part Netflix documentary.
It's
about this shit.
ridiculous. But that's my way of getting out. Was I got to the point where my health did get bad, and
Yeah.
they responded, and they were like, "Dude, you can't be like dying on this fuck." And they cared. They're like, "Dude, you can't. We didn't know your feet were hurting." And I had the option of telling him, "Dude, you're working me to death," or just telling him like, "Hey, man, fucking diabetes is crazy." And he didn't ask to see paperwork or nothing. He just goes, "Oh man, that's terrible." And you could see he probably kind of could tell too.
That it was like,
Yeah. So the whole thing started to get worked where he tried to make a deal where I would stay for another 2 months.
What?
What the- and that 2
then-
months is going to turn to 4 months.
Thank you. Exactly.
yeah, it would've
So
been
that's long
2
story
years.
short. Yeah, long story short, it got to the point where I had to just walk up to him one day and tell him like, dude, there's a bus. There's a bus leaving north in about 2 hours. I want to be on it. I didn't say it aggressive. I just told him.
Yeah.
I went right up and I just got tired of and he goes,
Like a man.
He just goes, man, all right, fuck it. All right, let's give you. And he shook my hand and then he goes, get your shit, man. Let's get it going. He's even told me, he goes, oh, fuck, man. And he hit me up not long after that. He sent me money after that. And then a year later, he called me saying he was looking for honest hands. He's like, I'm looking for honest workers, man. I really would. He kept my fucking number.
Wow.
I was in San Diego. I woke up at a friend's apartment. I woke up and I see Rob.
My heart would have started pounding.
I swear, I saw the area code. I go, I was just fucking with this one girl who lived up in the Dales. And I thought it might be her. I go, oh, fuck yeah, that bitch is awesome. She sends she sends pictures and stuff. I love that girl. And I thought it was her. So I got happy. I thought it was a girl I knew hitting me up.
No.
And no, it was him. He just had the same area code. This
Wow.
motherfucker was hitting me up to work a year later. He was trying to get me to go back.
No.
Should have just asked what the pay was.
No, fuck him, dude. Fuck him. I understand what you're saying, but it's like, you might get told that because he kept telling us
Yeah,
like we were all going
that's
to
true.
end up with a shitload of money. But the implication was that we were all going to get taken care of. Didn't happen.
No, it didn't.
I'm seeing people steal. They're stealing for a reason. I got this guy over here doing meth and shit, talking about, which by the way, he thought I was Illuminati. Like,
Nice.
I got in the car with him, and like I found out later on they went to see him at the hospital because that was a whole other story. That guy ended up getting himself to the hospital, basically.
Oh, he made it to the hospital.
He made it to the hospital, and then they went to see him to make sure he was okay because what he knew. They went to talk to him to make sure he was good and to take care of him. Yeah. He told them that he thought I was Illuminati and that I was one of the people that tried to poison him and that I was one of the people conspiring against him.
What
And
the
the reason is because when we got in the car, I wanted nothing to do with his ass.
Mm-hmm.
They sat him in the back seat. He kept trying to be friendly with me. I fucking ignored him. He had this stink of like, no, dude, they're beating your ass for a reason. They're fucking not dealing. You're doing meth and shit. I ignored him. I gave him a wall. I just sat there in the passenger side.
Not doing this, dude.
So I made him paranoid, and he thought that I was out to get him, and I was trying to poison him.
Holy
So
shit.
that's how someone viewed me up there. He goes, I think Robert's one of them. And it's because I scared him. I just ignored him because he's back here for having a freak out in the car, and I'm just like, dude, don't even talk to me. I told him like, dude, don't even, man. I don't need to talk to you right now. I'm not gonna fucking help you out. Like, you made some bad decisions. And we're driving back, and we're trying to take him back with us to the house. And he said, I had all his food stamps. I'll buy us a whole 3-course meal. I'll get us breadsticks and pizza and ice cream. And we were, me and this dude I'm working with, we looked at him. That sounds good. Fuck yeah, dude. That sounds fucking fun. And we're like, all right. And we're just smoking and chilling. We pulled up to this spot. It was the Dollar General. He went in and he goes, all right, I'll be right back. I'll come back with a bunch of food. What do you want? You want a soda? He started asking us all these questions. Like, what do you want in Arizona? He goes in and we're waiting. And in the middle of us waiting, we look in and he's inside going back and forth with his hands on his head. And he's shaking all the employees' hands. And we're sitting there looking like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Yeah. And in the middle of us looking at him, he's running back and forth in the store with his hands on, he's shaking everyone's hands. A fire truck pulls up.
Oh, no.
An ambulance pulls up and a sheriff pulls up. And they all just do. And we just fucking got right the fuck out of there. We just drove. And then we did a U-turn when we got down the street and we drove back and we called our boss like, hey man, he's getting picked up right now. He went ahead and called 911 on himself. Like he went into the store and told him, I need you guys to call me an ambulance. Like, turns out he was a lying piece of shit. We never got no 3-course dinner.
God damn it,
shit. And we dropped him off for nothing. This motherfucker was supposed to come with us and make us food. Be a fucking slave. I was like, you fucking liar. You broke the program.
Jesus Christ.
Motherfucker.
If I'm going to be a slave, we're all going to be a slave.
Piece of shit. Fucking no pizza, no nothing. Great.
Oh.
Now we got to drive back and go, we got to stop somewhere on the way back. Great. What an inconvenience. But no, that's how he got himself out of there. And then they went and checked on him at the hospital. But they did have love for him because they cared. They're like, oh no. Because they said that they called and they're like, dude, he was poisoned. We thought he was just being a tweaker. So we were like, you need to sober your ass. So our attitude wasn't to punish him. Our attitude was like, dude, you need to sober the fuck up. What are you doing? You're going to kill yourself.
Move your mic a little bit.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So our thought wasn't that he actually was in need of a hospital. We thought he was just being a bitch and that he was doing drugs because, and he was on drugs, but it turns out a girl he met put arsenic or some shit in his fucking shot and he poisoned himself. I don't know. I hope he's doing good now. I hope because I can't.
Yeah.
They picked his ass up. They got him out of the hospital and he was just like, just take me over here. And they took him over to a random Walmart. Just right here. They pulled over. They let him out. He got all his stuff, and he just walked. And that's the last time anyone heard of this guy.
Holy shit!
They just He could still be on the streets of Oregon for all I know, dude. I don't know what happened to this man.
God damn.
So yeah, no names, no locations.
Yeah, just
it is what it is.
Oregon.
Oregon's a big state, but that's
damn, bro.
So you left.
I got
you
the
escaped.
fuck out of there. Yes, I did.
What was the first thing you did when?
I got it together, man. I went to see a friend. I got a train ticket back to Bakersfield, and I went to a friend's house, and I just started kind of like, get it together, try to figure out what I'm gonna do next. But that was the end of the traveling for a while. That's when I got a job.
I remember, yeah.
But then after that went to shit. Then I went up to Alaska again.
that actually, because we went pretty far with the Oregon thing.
No, yeah, you're fine.
I actually wanted to talk about you going fishing because
deadliest catch.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what the fuck this fool was doing. But we couldn't talk to him because he's out in the fucking sea. But he sent us this picture of him in the. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, dude.
I believe the picture I sent you that might have been Adak Island, I believe, or it was fuck. Then there's Dutch Harbor. We went to port at a couple places, but that's that chain of islands. Have you ever seen a picture of Alaska? That elephant horn that sticks out. Mm-hmm. I sailed those islands. That's where we fished at. And you go way out to the fucking Bering Sea, and that's where you're at. So that's one of those islands is where I took that picture.
So what was the like the process to getting in?
The biggest thing is, dude, they need labor so bad. If you can piss clean, they'll put you on a boat tomorrow. But the problem is it's maybe a half to sometimes 3/4 of the people they hire quit. Because it's just really hard.
How do you quit on
back breaking work?
Yes.
How do you quit on a boat in the middle of the sea?
You stop working like a bitch, And everyone who is working ostracizes you and isolates you and looks at you like you're a fucking pussy. We don't even make eye contact with you. We ignore your existence.
Because you just added more work.
You want to know? You want to know? Yes, thank you. You understand. So now we have to work more. So if you have 60 people on the boat, which by the way, that's max, including engineers and everything, that's about 60 people on this fucking boat in the middle of the ocean we're processing. And we can't go to port until we get 750 tons. So every day we're pulling in nets of fish, we're processing the fish, and once we get the freezer with packaged fish that equals 750 tons, we can go home.
I remember you telling me
fucking
that
3 people quit. That's a little bit longer of a goddamn trip.
I remember you told me that you were eating like a king.
I got fucking king.
So explain that to like what's the like? Do they do like a whole service for you?
No, man, you got a galley and it's like a cafeteria, a little area, and then they got a little buffet and they have a cook. Okay. So there's 2 people dedicated. There's 2 cooks.
Have you seen Deadliest Catch and shit?
No. Okay, so that's what I thought it was, right? But he told me that those boats out there.
Those are crab fishing, man. Yeah. Crab fishing, smaller crews. It's like 8 people.
But he told me that those boats, it's like you have to be friends, family, or.
Oh no, those are they told me about. They were trying to tell me about making big money. You know, the people that go out there and make 100 fucking grand. They said that it's FBI friend, brother, or in-law. So like the only way to get those jobs is to know somebody because those jobs, they protect those jobs. The job where you go and make 30 grand in 3 months or 2 months, they're not giving those up. They give them to a relative. Yeah. If I handed that job off, I'm going to call Willie up first. Yeah. I'm not going to quit and just leave a vacancy. I'm going to call a relative and say, hey, do you need a job? Yeah. A lot of them trade. They'll go like, so if we're related, 3 of us, 4 of us, we kick it here for these many months. And we have 4 of our relatives that go work the boat. And then when they're done with their season, they come back, and me, the 4 of us, we go and we work that boat for fucking 4 months or 5 months. Mm-hmm. And that's how we feed ourselves. And then you don't have to work for maybe 6 months or some shit. You make your money. But imagine that's their life. Yeah. So part of your year is you're at home kicking it. And the Samoans did that big time. The Samoans were the ones that loved that culture.
You meet a lot of Samoans on the boat?
Like half the boat was Samoans. Half the fucking boat was
big,
Samoans.
burly motherfuckers.
Big, burly motherfuckers. But there's every kind. There's skinny little ones and shit. But a lot of them happen to have this big, fat motherfuckers, and they try to act.
And I remember you telling me like the last test was putting on the life suit.
Okay, so they have you go through a whole safety thing. They get you on the boat, and before you even leave the dock, I remember getting to the boat, and I'm like, oh, so we're just gonna kick it right here at the dock, right? So we're gonna kick it here at the dock, and we'll go out, and then we'll come back to the dock. And then they're like, no, we're leaving, and we're not gonna be docked anywhere. We're gonna just pull up to other boats. We're gonna offload to those boats, and then we're gonna go right back out to fishing. We're gonna pull up to boats and get. We're gonna back order. We're gonna get all our food and gas, and then we're gonna go right back out to the fucking ocean.
You're not gonna see land for a minute.
No, I didn't touch land for months. I was out there fucking. And you have this moment where you get on the boat and they have food, so you go, oh great. They had macaroni and cheese with ham in it. Ooh. These idiots ate 2 or 3 bowls, and then we left port. And everyone got seasick. Everybody who ate was over a trash can like this. And I'm talking like grown men with several children who were like hard workers. They were on a trash can, and we haven't even started yet. We haven't even started yet. And they're telling you your shift starts in 20 minutes. Right. You don't have a choice, and you're about to work 16 hours. That's something I thought before I went out there. I'm like, no, they're going to work me maybe 12 hours. I can get some sleep. I can hang out, chill on my phone. No. They work you 16 hours minimum. And then sometimes you go over that if you're, so 16-hour shift.
If someone quits.
If someone,
God damn.
So 16 hours. I woke up at 8 a.m. and I would work until midnight. I believe that was my shift. So 16 hours? What the fuck was the schedule? I remember it was like 8 a.m. to I believe it was midnight. 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 16 hours. So 8 a.m. to midnight. That was my fucking shift. A shift. There's A shift, B shift, C shift. At any time of day, there was a shift working. The factory was always running.
So how are you sleeping with all that fun?
Dude,
well, I'm sure you're worked to the bone, and you're just like so tired. You're just tired, dude.
He just said it.
Knockout right there.
You can't even think about it. You're begging for a bed. Yeah. So you're not really going to complain once you get your bed. You're going to crawl in, and you're going to treat it like the best bed on the planet. Yeah. You're going to sleep as much as you can, which, by the way, you don't sleep much. I maybe slept like 4 hours if I was lucky. Maybe. Those were good nights. I'd sleep 4 or 5 hours because you can't sleep. Yeah. You get off. What you find out is what everybody valued was cigarettes more than anything else.
Sounds like prison.
Cigarettes. Dude, I shit you not. That's what people started saying. I never been to fucking jail. Everyone in there was treating it like jail. They're like, dude, this is a bitch.
Oh, fuck.
You'd get with your break.
And a boys.
We'd hit our break, and these motherfuckers would be more interested in smoking a cigarette than they would be eating food.
Wow.
So they would want to go, and if they did eat food, they would go out, grab like a sandwich, and then go right back
to smoke
and fucking smoke. There's people who never smoked before, and they started smoking on the boat. There's people who never did dip, And they're like, hey, man, this black dude I kicked it with, he's a cool motherfucker named T. He was from Stockton. He told me, he's like, hey, man, I never done dip in my life. I got this shit. He showed me. He goes, dude, this is keeping me going. I need it. And he started doing it all day.
Nicotine high.
He loved it. He said it, and then everyone told me like I was a pussy for not doing it. They told me, the Samoans told me, makes you strong. Makes you stronger. Like the chewing.
It's because they're already hip to the fact.
Oh, yeah. They were doing what they had to do.
Now, when you were out there, did anyone get hurt?
Yes. I got hurt. Everybody got hurt.
What's
minor
the
injuries.
easiest thing that could just get you killed out there?
So going back to, you asked me about safety. One of the things that was safety was they told you right away, like, okay, so we're in a factory with a lot of conveyors and equipment. Do not at any time climb on the conveyors, and do not at any time get on the equipment while it's running, because these are saw blades.
Yeah.
There's all this shit
Just
going on
processing
around
fish.
you. So the first day you get in the factory, a manager that just told you that yells for you to cross over a bunch of equipment and conveyors. He's like, Robert, come over here. And I go like, I'm looking like, over, come the fuck. Like they're telling you to climb over.
And the boat's teeter-tottering.
They just told you don't do that. They just said, do not climb on this equipment. Do not climb on the conveyors, because you have clothing that can get caught. The day we started our shift, they yelled for me to climb over a bunch of equipment and a bunch of conveyors. So the easiest thing that can happen is you get caught in a conveyor, and then the machinery keeps going and it pulls your fucking skin in or some shit. One dude I met, he was one of the toughest guys I met and worked on that boat. He had his kneecap go into a metal pole, like something they had been grinding. It was sticking out. Oh. He went to climb over equipment, and his knee went down, and it went into his up into his kneecap, and he had to work through that. This motherfucker would be working next to me, and he would just have his arm on my shoulder, and he would pick his leg up, and he would just stand there hanging his leg, and then he would put his leg down, go back to processing, go back to working, and then he would lean. He was Rob, and he put his arm on my arm, and he would hold himself up and just lean on my fucking shoulder, and then go back to work. So that falling down is the easiest thing that can happen. And so part of the safety is they tell you, do not climb on conveyors and do not climb on equipment. First day you work, they put you on equipment and over fucking conveyors. The last thing before you leave the boat, before you leave port, they show you how to put on these safety vests. It's a vest you lay down. It's supposed to keep you dry. And by keeping you dry, that keeps you warmer than you would be if you were wet. And it preserves your life for maybe 20, 30 minutes. If you do fall into the ocean, or if you end up with the boat going underwater, at least you have something that you could put on.
A fighting chance.
Yes. They had us each put on these vests, and you had to do it under a minute. And they said, if you can't put this on under a minute, we're not even gonna fucking hire you. We're gonna kick you off the boat right now.
So even you're in Alaska,
we're already there.
But the last thing,
they go, we're not leaving the port. If you can't put this on, you're not safe.
Yeah.
Because you're going to die. Because if you can't put that on in a minute, we might need you to put it on in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you can't put it on, you're gonna fucking die. You're
Holy
gonna freeze
shit.
you're gonna die. Everyone put this thing on. Again, over the next week, I started asking people about those suits. They're like, dude, we're going to tell you the truth right now. If we sink, you're probably not going to be anywhere near those suits, first of all. And second of all, it maybe buys you actually like 8 minutes. They go, basically, if you fall off this boat, you're dead.
Yeah.
And they just said, like, dude, it's so cold up here, and it's so, like, the waters are so big, the waves, we can't even find you.
Shock right away.
So it's like, even if we yank you back into the boat, you're going to be going into hypothermia after a minute or so.
Yeah.
So now you got them.
Fuck.
They basically, after they give you all this safety shit, they didn't tell you, hey, by the way, all that safety shit doesn't mean a fucking
It doesn't mean.
And they
this is just OSHA standards.
and then they say, actually, the most likely thing that'll happen is a fire breaks out on the boat and we all burn to death.
Shut the fuck up.
That's crazy.
That's what they finally said. They're like, actually, what could happen?
Sounds really ironic.
Because they said there's a
Yeah.
bunch of people out here where fucking, we got people in their room smoking cigarettes, sneaking cigarettes in their room like assholes, or sneaking weed, or whatever it is you're doing. There's a guy cooking. He's heating up frying oil all day.
Yeah.
Shit can happen. And they said engineers go toward the fire. Everyone else goes to your lifeboat. And you just fucking pray that everything doesn't go to shit.
You know what's funny? Like, when he came back from Alaska and I saw him, I was living in Anaheim with his parents at the time.
Yeah.
And the first story he told me, we didn't go through any of this. The first story was, dude, I had to fight this fucking crab one day.
This fucking crap.
You would think like it was like a fucking like King Kong sized crab.
Yeah.
When they put you in there, you don't know how to do anything. So they have these lines, and there's conveyors that just feed you fish.
Yeah.
And you have a pan, and you're supposed to pack that pan according to the size of the fish. It gets fucking boring because your motion is you stand there, you push a button, the conveyor brings you the fish, you pack the tray, you turn around, you put it on a conveyor, the conveyor takes them to the freezer. And that's where they package it, they freeze it, they do all that shit. If you get stuck in that spot, you suck. that means you can't work. That means you're not good at working. So I started saying yes to every job in the factory. So if they offered me something, I took it. What ends up happening, though, is they put you anywhere they need your ass because you're new. First thing, they had me go into this live tank, and the conveyors were getting clogged. So they needed somebody to go in the live tank, stand there with a shovel, and whenever the conveyor started, shovel fish into the big conveyor.
So you just have shit falling on you.
No.
No?
So you go into this, it's like stainless steel. You climb down in there, and they said, whatever you do, don't fall down. And they left me down there for a couple hours. I don't even know how long they left me. They just left me. They go, don't fall down. And if you fall, yell, because we can't see or hear you. And they left.
Shit.
They put you in a live tank, and there's a conveyor, this big metal thing with forks that's just doing this toward you all day. And whenever they turn it on, there's this hatch, this big metal door that opens. And when it opens up, a bunch of fish just fill the room you're in. And it's all up to your knees. My job was to, whenever the conveyor moved, push fish like this toward the conveyor and just keep doing that. So every time the hatch opened, more fish would come in. And it would be overwhelming because you had to like respond and not fall down. Yeah. Because if you fall down, you go straight into the fucking conveyor. The way the live tank is designed, it's designed to throw everything into this big conveyor. So I'm like this and this with a bar, and you grab the shovel, you throw it, and then when the conveyor stops, you hold onto the bar. You just keep your footing. The thing opens up, a giant fucking crab is on top of all the fish. And there's this big long legs. It was a giant snow crab is on top of all the fish, and it's like this. It's doing this like loppy thing, like it's dead. And then you look over, and its shit was still alive. Oh. And it started just doing this, like a spider started just putting its legs like this, trying to get its footing. And I just started working, and at first it was in front of me. And there's a pile of fish, and I'm shoveling fish. And in the middle of that, I'm like, it's still alive. They open the door again. The fish come in, and it pushes the crab further into the room, and now the crab is behind me. So now the crab is behind me, and it's getting its wits about him because it just came out of a fucking net. So now the crab's trying to realize what's going on, and it's trying to get it. It's pissed too. So it's this angry fucking crab trying to figure out where he is. And I'm shoveling, and I have to look over my shoulder. Every time the door opens, the crab is it's doing this whirl thing around me back to where I'm at. And every time the door opens, more fish come in. Crab gets closer behind me. Crab's just doing this circle toward me. And I just kept fucking dealing. I just wanted the crab to go away. I thought I would grab the crab and move it. I had all these ideas. Like, what am I going to do? And I just realized, like, dude, it's just me, and thousands of fish, and this fucking crab are in this little room together. I had this big snow shovel. I just snapped, dude. I was so exhausted. This is the first week I was up there. And every second you're thinking about quitting, too. So every second you're like, I'm going to quit. I'm going to fucking quit. Yeah. Man, it feels so good to quit. That's all you can think of yourself is I'm going to quit.
Yeah, this pain will end.
And you're telling yourself all the time what your plan would be. Like, I'm just going to go home. I'll get a job. I don't care. I'll work at AM, PM. I don't give a fuck. I'll do whatever I got to do. It's better than this shit. I'll do whatever I got to do. In the middle of that, I just snapped. I just yelled, fuck you, crab. And I yelled at the top of my legs, fuck you, crab. And I hit this motherfucker twice as hard as I could. And that shit was not moving anymore. That shit went limp, and I just fucking grabbed it and I threw it to the side. It went into the conveyor, and it just went up with the rest of the fish. It was in this room with me and had these big old claws, and it was standing tall behind me. I turned, I hit the motherfucker with a shovel, and I threw it right into the
I would have took that shit to the cafeteria, like, hey, can you cook this for me?
I could have. I found out later on. We were working one time, and this Samoan dude, everyone called him Michael, but he had this, long tribal name. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. He came out. He had something on.
What did you say?
Hang on.
That was, you guys didn't understand it. Hold on.
That one.
Hold on. You didn't understand it because he spoke the island language. Okay, so anyway, he was pronouncing something. Okay, he's not. There's this guy walking down the fucking factory. He had something on his shoulder.
What bar?
He looked like he had.
Is this the last one?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He looked like he had like a jacket or something on his shoulder, and he kept adjusting it. And he had the biggest smile. He never smiled. This dude always had like a fucking serious gangster face. He had the biggest smile. As he walked by me, he had a big old octopus. He had a big old octopus on his shoulder, and the shit was like half dead. And he was carrying it. He was taking it to the back room to cut it up and freeze it so he could take it back home whenever.
I heard they're smart as fuck.
Yeah, they're octopus. Yeah, they're extremely smart. And this fool had a half dead one. He just was so happy that he was gonna have a bunch of fried octopus. So that part of the deal is you can package your own shit out there and then take it home. So that's the type.
That's
of shit.
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, man. Yeah. So little shit. I don't know. It's you learn real quick, but after the first week, you really do just kind of resign yourself to like, this is what it is. As long as I get up every day, I'll be fine. Because the hardest thing is getting up.
Yeah,
that's the hardest thing. Everything you want to do is just go back to sleep. Everything in you wants to go back to sleep because you're being faced with, all right, 16 hours, let's do it again.
Yeah.
All right, 16 hours, let's do it again.
I could fucking die.
Yes, and they like you're out there 2 seconds, and they yell for you if they like you and they think you can work. They yell, and then they point where they want you to go.
Okay.
Because nobody can hear each other, and sometimes they would do this, point up. That means go up to the deck. So now you're going up to the deck to help the deck hands bring in nets. So that's part of what I had to do too. So that was I loved it. I fucking loved that. It was exciting. Everyone else was terrified, and I was scared too.
Oh yeah.
But it was really exciting to go up on deck and just be in the fucking ocean, dude. And there's all these seagulls trying to attack the net, and you just see it coming in. You see this big motherfucker coming in, and you just see tons of fish coming, and they're all sticking their heads out of the net. And you gotta like work with them to open it and let it pour out, and then you shovel the motherfuckers down a hatch so they can process them in the factory downstairs.
Oh,
and
damn.
you're just up on this boat, that's when you realize you're in the ocean, dude. That's when you're like, oh my fucking god,
I mean,
we're
being
way
surrounded by water doesn't help. But
no, not but like the rain,
Yeah.
and the waves, and the boat, the way it's moving on these big. You don't even think about it, but you just see these big fucking waves,
yeah.
and you're just in the water.
What was that movie called? The
Perfect
Perfect Storm?
Yeah, George Clooney and them.
Mark Wahlberg.
What about it?
Never seen it.
I thought John C. Reilly.
Was
Man,
it
you're
John-
missing out.
Yeah, that was like the
John
movie.
C. Reilly's in it.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
I don't know, man. Like I wouldn't be able to do that shit.
Oh no, I'm too much of a bitch.
Fuck that shit, dude.
There's people that quit right away, man. That's a bitch. So the people that did quit, they didn't just.
You're still stuck on the boat.
Yeah, well, they didn't even just quit. They like made excuses. I make more money at McDonald's. But in your head, you start to realize you're like, as right as they are, you have to keep reminding yourselves like he's only mad because he's tired.
Yeah.
Like, he's not doing that because he's come to a logical conclusion that he needs to quit. He wants to quit, so he's coming up with every fucking reason he can.
Yeah.
And when they do, dude, you're not part of the group anymore. Nobody talks to you anymore. Nobody acknowledges you anymore.
Do they feed you?
They
still
tell you
and
they
shit?
feed you, but after everybody else. You eat after everybody. So once we eat dinner, then you get to eat fucking dinner. And when it's usually whatever's left. And
If
we're
there's anything
respectful,
left,
by the
yeah.
way. We don't shit, but we don't talk to you either.
Yeah.
So if you quit, I used to talk to you and shake your hand. Hey, what's up, man? I don't even look you in the eyes. And you're trying to get my attention too, by the way. Even if you know I'm not talking to you, you still want me to acknowledge you.
It's like you just fucked me over.
Yeah,
and
I don't even take it as that. I just go, you're not part of what we're doing anymore. I didn't hate any of them. I looked at it like, you are everything I don't want to be right now. You fucking quit. And I'm doing everything not to quit.
I'm picking up your fucking slack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I looked
yeah.
at him like, dude, and that's what the program was. I was like, you're not part of it anymore. So you would not just be like, fuck Rob. You would be like, oh, Rob doesn't like me. And then you see me the next day, you're going to still try to get my attention, and I'm not fucking with you. I don't even look at you. Because why would I? You're not doing shit for me, and you're over here kicking it. You're waking up, and you're going to get on Wi-Fi and look out the window and be like, man, what a beautiful day in the life. I'm downstairs in hell. I'm downstairs in fucking hell while you're up here kicking it.
God damn.
And I'm just like, I remember when the last trip when like a lot of people quit. We had like 12 people quit, and they formed like a gang, and they were trying to get everybody to quit. I'm like, you guys stop being fucking bitches. I came downstairs getting ready to get my laundry because we were offloading, which is when you unload the boat, which is extremely fucking difficult. Unloading a boat is extremely difficult. And I came downstairs like out of my mind going to get my laundry. And I remember looking at a table of 4 grown men who had quit, and they were looking at me like, you could see it on their faces. They had shame. Because they weren't doing they were getting up just to kick it and talk all day and smoke cigarettes, and they were looking at me like pushing still. And one of them came up to me and was like trying to make small talk with me. Hey Rob, hey, I talked to him for a second, and I was like, oh, I heard you got sick. He's like, yeah, I got pneumonia. Because I ain't no quitter, man. I just got pneumonia, so I had to like not be sad. They're gonna get me out of here. I'm still gonna get paid too. I'm like, all right, that's cool. All right, man, I'll see you later. And I just walk right past.
So like when you quit, your contract's done.
What happens is, if you go up there and you complete your contract, they pay your way. They'll pay for your plane ticket. You'll pay for your hotel, and they'll give you all these bonuses and shit. If you quit, they don't pay you anything because you're no longer an employee.
You got to find your own way back home.
But not just that, now you owe them money. So they'll still get you home, but now you got a bill that says, hey, you now owe us. Because another thing is they start charging you rent on the boat. If you quit, even if you're in good standing, you still have to pay to be on the boat. So now you're paying like $50 a day. To be on a fucking boat. So they pay. So exactly, they fuck you, man.
And you're there for months.
No, so yeah, I was there for fucking 60 days. That's all I did. I did my contract.
like
So,
3 months,
yeah, I was. You could have gone longer, but once I saw the way, I was like, dude, I'm completing my contract and getting the fuck out of here. And I did my contract and I left. One thing that got me was it takes 3 planes to get there. So if you guys want to go where I was at on Adak Island, you got to take 3 planes. You say from here to Seattle, Seattle to Anchorage, Anchorage to this bumfuck island. We took this rickety ass plane to go out there.
God damn.
The
one that killed Richie Valens, dude.
Fucking it felt like a La Bamba fucking plane.
What was that line like? What was that line like? The sky's for the stars, right?
Oh yeah, the sky's for the stars.
You get
Never won a coin toss before.
There was a third plane. The third plane is the one where I had some dude. He was this buff, short, like fucking black dude just in front of me, and he was really like charged up. And he went ahead of me as we walked onto the, the part that connects to the plane, the hangar.
Yeah.
He was slapping the ceilings and yelling like he was about to fight. And he was yelling over and over again, one more time. One more motherfucking time. One more time. And he was getting himself psyched to get on the boat.
Oh, fuck.
That was my like, oh shit. If he's prepping himself, that means this sucks. He goes like, you've done this before? And you still have to have this like moment where he was getting himself riled up and he was just yelling, one more time. One more motherfucking, like he knew he had to go do another trip. He had to sign on the contract.
It makes you think, how many one more times has he had?
Thank you. Because you meet people that are stuck out there that are like, dude, I'm going to buy property. I'm going to take care of my mom and then I'm going to quit, man. I'm going to start like, they never quit. Dude. They keep going. They just keep going back.
That reminds me of the Dave Chappelle skit, the World Series at Dice. Like, what do you win with all the money? I bought my mama a car. Spent the rest on PCP.
That was like a small Eddie Griffin cameo that should have gotten more attention.
Yeah,
it's just a great play. It's a great little part.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah,
but just to backstep a little bit, if you've been keeping up, we have this golf tournament happening.
We're bringing it up, dude. We're bringing it up
because we didn't bring it up last week.
Oh yeah,
we talked about it this week. So it came to the attention to us like probably a couple weeks ago. We're like, Memo's gonna take us to a course that he already knows how to play. So what are we going to do? We're going to leave town and we're going to go play golf in San Diego. There's a trophy now.
Oh yeah, there's a trophy. If you guys have been keeping up with the Instagram, there's a trophy.
Yeah, my friends are like, dude, you're bringing home that trophy, right? I'm like, you're goddamn right. I'm bringing that fucking trophy.
And it's getting to the point, dude, where feelings are going to get hurt on the course.
Dude, it is. Yeah.
Like he's over here sending us receipts from golf stores.
Oh yeah.
Like I got a surprise for you guys.
I got a surprise for you guys.
But no, like I feel like after this,
that receipt wasn't from a golf store.
What?
That receipt wasn't from a golf store.
No.
It was golf related.
What did you buy?
Not a golf store. Don't worry about it. You'll see it.
Oh no.
It's a surprise.
You guys fucked up. Now you're all just competing with each other. This is going to drive a rift between your guys' friendship. You're going to be 3 fucking podcasts. I'm telling you right now. You guys are going to have 3 fucking podcasts where you have to rip into each other. Each of you get your own support from your fans and shit. Because I get 100 fans, you get 100 fans. You just expand each audience.
Oh my god,
you fucking guys!
No, dude,
this is the start. I'm telling you, this is the seed.
No, deadass. This whole competition was just to shut me up. Literally, this whole competition is to shut me up.
Were you bragging about your golf skills?
Well, no, I took them to a course.
Hold on, real quick. Were you bragging about your golf skills?
I wasn't bragging.
Now, Willie, where was he bragging about his golf skills?
No, it was how he was acting on the course.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, but I can't.
You ignited a competitiveness in them.
I did
by doing something.
No, I'll admit. Yeah, but I do things without intention, and I need to really work on that shit. We went through this week too. Like I get way too emotional about shit, and I just don't think things through. But what I felt was me just trying to keep the pace at the golf course turned out to me being a real douche.
It was our first time on a course.
It was their first time on a course.
And he's like, come on, we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go.
The way he was saying it was like I'm so above you guys right now. You fucking peasants better not slow me down or embarrass me in front of my friends.
Yeah, and another version of what happened is he gracefully brought you guys to his golf course.
No, I never been to this one.
Oh, god damn it. He's trying to help you. I know. All right, but okay, hold on. He's gracefully introducing you guys to a sport that he's into, and he's trying to gracefully, hey, welcome to this world, you guys. Well, come on in and don't embarrass me. And you guys were like, you know what? Kind of showing up hungover and shit. Just being like, he comes up, he takes it serious. He's presentable. He's probably got golf shorts that bunch up in the ass area. He just like bunches up in the back. And you guys show up not on that level. It upset him.
No. I did. I will admit that I was trying to rush it.
Your mom's calling you, bro?
Why you gotta call it out like that? Yeah, they don't.
Hey,
know.
Man, it's your mom. I just felt
Answer the phone. Answer the phone on the podcast.
Talk to your mom. Dude, talk to your
Here's
mom.
another thing.
Hold on.
What's up with your mom?
Hello.
Speakerphone.
Yeah, put on speakerphone.
Estoy grabando con Willie and Chris en el podcast. Hello?
Vienes a las 4 de la mañana y te desapareces.
No, I did not come home at 4 in the morning.
We need to address this.
No llegué a las 4.
Fucking POG over here, piece of garbage.
Yo quiero decir como a la 1.
You weren't with me last night, motherfucker.
Yeah, like 1 o'clock maybe. You guys were asleep. Yeah.
Oh boy, this
1 or
just
2.
got really intense.
I know.
But not 4.
I'm really scared of his mom.
He's gonna have to go home.
Entonces a las 3 de la mañana, ¿por qué no te levantaste?
3 de la mañana.
Sí.
Ooh, I don't know about all that.
Cuando había los gritos y los trancazos.
Había gritos en...
Memo, if there's something you've always wanted to say to your mom, say it right now
Estabas
while
mal.
it's on recording. Just
Puede ser
anything you've
eso.
always wanted to say to her. Say it right
I'm
now.
pretty sure.
Podía hacer eso.
Man,
Yeah.
don't take advantage of this opportunity. Whatever you've
Pues
always
lo bueno que
wanted
me
to
quedé
say.
dormido. Por
Just
eso.
get it out right now.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Say sorry in Spanish, though. You do say sorry.
Bye.
Lo
Oh,
siento.
God.
What did
Damn
you do? You threw up, didn't you?
No. So she's like...
You left your weight set out. You were doing burpees and you fucked the rug up. You fucking ex-convict. What'd you do wrong? What'd you do?
No, she's
Your
like,
mom
so
seems
how come
upset.
you came home at 4 in the morning? I was like, I don't think I came home at 4 in the morning. Because according to Willie last night...
I came home like at 2.
Yeah,
Here's
so
the
that
point.
means...
Here's the point. Your mom's pointing out you don't know what time you got home, and she was non-drunk probably, so she probably she
and
did
there was-
this. She looked at her watch real quick and was like, "It's 4," and you're like, "No, it's not. It was,
so-
it was like 7:30."
So there was, I guess, something happened at home at 3 in the morning. If anyone that knows my situation at home, something popped off over there.
Oh man!
And she's like, so how come you didn't get up when all the fucking...
Because I
when
was
this shit...
drunk.
And she's like, I was like, I don't know. She's like, oh, what, did you come home drunk? And you just slept through it? And I was like, honestly, that's probably what it was. And a good thing, too, because I wouldn't have wanted to deal with it. And she's like, Wes, all right. Or whatever, dude. So, yeah.
They're talking about golf.
Oh, yeah. So we were talking about golf, yeah.
Competitiveness. That's really the center of this. Is you guys have ignited it. It's healthy competition, man. It's really good that it's weird what brings it out too among friends.
They've awakened something deep inside
It's
me that
strange.
hasn't been up.
And by the way,
months.
usually it's like a girl that might fuck up a whole group of guy friends.
Nope.
One girl
Golf.
one girl fucks everything up, or in the case of my group of friends, NFL Blitz 2000.
Oh, shit.
NFL Blitz 2000 made me
Nintendo
say
64?
whatever it was, I'm not sure what it was. We played it on every system.
I had it on the
But
PlayStation.
I had it on
something-
Nintendo
I
64,
shit you
dude.
not. I had a friend that died this year. That to the day he died, he would bring up mean shit we said to each other during NFL Blitz. I fucking shit you not. We got personal.
Damn.
We would get so mad at how we played
shit.
Blitz.
That's why your mom's on crack.
Quick passes, you piece of shit. Fuck you and your Hail Marys. You fucking and just talk. We bring up things we said. Oh, we hated each other when we played NFL Blitz. But go. That's my example. That I can recall. Not even realize like, Dad, we hate each other when we play NFL Blitz, don't we? Like I genuinely hated my friend while we played each other, but then we go back to being friends.
God
So,
damn.
you guys
You're
ignited that same thing.
I'm gonna tell you guys are in for a big surprise.
I'm really curious as to what
Big
this
surprise.
fucking
You know what?
surprise-
Let me do this.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna bring up the rules.
Oh, yeah, we
Rules.
made rules when we were
made
drunk
rules.
as shit.
If I can't find them right now, I'll just tell Hillary.
You
to
guys
send
were
them.
Money
Drunk
over
as shit.
bitches.
Dude, we were fucked up when we made these rules up.
Dude, you guys really that day in your
my
backyard?
backyard?
Yeah, you guys were really fucking drunk.
I didn't even remember booking the Airbnb until the next morning. I was like,
Wow.
oh shit, dude. And then I didn't even realize that we can't smoke cigarettes there. Well, Willie can't smoke cigarettes there.
All right, so these are the rules.
He's
okay.
fucked. He has a vape.
Location: San Diego. Rules can be vetoed if unanimous between the three of us. But we have another council.
First rule: the rules don't matter. That's a great start. You fucking.
Welcome to prison.
First rule of being a president: nobody's really the president.
So the first rule: if you do not show up in your fit, that's +5 strokes. Shirts, shoes, pants, and shoes, with the exception of Willie, because I'm not going to be able to find shoes my size. by that time.
Go to store the Shaq stops. We need a size 22, please. Willie said, "Hey, I also wear a size 22."
Don't call me Shaq. Don't call me Kazam. Call me Kazam.
So rule number 2. Rule number 2: no stepping on putting lines.
Thank you for getting a Shaq-a-roni pizza. Ordering a Shaq-a-roni.
So rule number 3: before the start of hole 10, everyone must shotgun a seltzer. If not, plus 2 strokes. Fourth rule: second place will take 3 shots within an hour time span once back to the Airbnb. Third place will take 5 shots within an hour time span once back to the Airbnb. Rule number 5: breathalyzer. So we got the breathalyzer.
Yeah, it's on its way.
Hell yeah,
we got a professional grade breathalyzer.
So
I think the next guest might be the first one because I know we wanted to do it with our guests.
yeah,
Like do that.
Can you guys get caddies? Can each one of
we're
you
bringing caddies.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay,
Well,
that should.
yeah.
That'd
Well,
be
we have 2
so for you to
caddies
walk
for
off to the
3
side
people.
and your caddy's just like leaning in with you.
I
say
am
you
not
short
listening to my fucking caddy's
Your caddy-
opinion.
You need to listen to your caddy.
No, these caddies don't know shit.
So all you want.
Hillary knows a little more.
Yeah,
All
Hillary,
Chris wants is someone to go, "Hey, you need a seltzer?" Yes, I do. Yes. Okay,
So,
get your seltzer, buddy.
Let me wipe this
Going-
sweat off your brow real
Seltzer.
quick, dude.
Thank you.
Going into the breathalyzer,
Love you.
whoever has the lowest ABV by the start of the 10th hole has to shotgun another seltzer, so that's already 2 seltzers. Number 6.
God damn it.
Everyone gets a breakfast swing on the first hole and a mulligan on every par 5.
Can I say that if you guys get gastrointestinal issues by the end of this fucking year because of all the seltzers you're drinking, I'm gonna laugh very
I think
hard.
we're already there, dude.
You guys are already like,
dude, I had
Yeah, I think I have the girth.
I had to take a break like for a month from drinking.
Oh,
After
yeah,
we started,
dude.
I was just like, I gotta stop.
that's too
for a
much.
second.
God,
Let me just reset this.
Fucking A, dude.
So 7.
That's another thing I want to bring up.
7. For every par 5, there's 1 redo for only the first swing of the hole. One of
Yeah,
these.
that's a mulligan, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's the same thing. 8. Whoever complains about their hangover messing up their game, plus 3.
I think that's you.
Plus 3 strokes every mention. Number 9, no borrowing clubs of any kind from other players. 10, second and third place pay for the trophy. 11, the player with the highest ABV at the end of the game, 3 strokes removed from their score,
Yeah.
which is going to be me.
Mm,
So
We'll
yeah,
see.
you wanted to bring. So yeah, so you had a whole month
a
of
whole
no
month
drinking.
of not drinking. And then as of, what was it, Thursday? Today's Sunday. So yeah, I think Thursday was when I was allowed to. I noticed some changes. Two beers and I'm hung over the next morning. But mostly, like, I noticed, like, I'm okay to say, like, nah, I don't want to drink right now. Like that, like, that's, like, now a possibility of me just like, no.
I think that just has to do with self-control.
Yeah.
Hold on, mister. I have to chug a seltzer every time I drink a fucking seltzer. Mister,
Yeah.
my heart can't keep up with my body. Fucking professional medical wisdom over here. Is like, the problem is you don't have self-tolerance and self-control. I understand self-discipline. The rules of self-mastery are simple, my son. He starts calling you my son. That's when you gotta play my child.
My young Padawan.
My young
Padawan.
one.
My Padawan.
Come on, man.
Dead.
So you guys have like a tournament planned? Or what is it?
It's a golf match. So on October 17th, we will be facing off at, well, I will make my damnedest sure that I book it, but Bonita Golf Course in San Diego.
If I owned a mini, like
I'm
a
sure
mini
you can
bus,
book a tea time on a Saturday at Bonita.
I would love to get a bus full of fucking homeless, crazy people to be like your crowd. You know, like Tiger Woods as a crowd. So like, oh yeah,
holding up signs.
I'll give them
and
each
shit.
signs and shit behind. Like each one of them, I'll get you guys each fans. I'll have different people.
Oh my god, dude!
I heart memo.
No, but talking about golf. So we were talking about this before they got here. You guys watched the debate this week?
What does that have to do with golf?
Well, Trump played
just
32 games
the
during
dawn?
32 games during COVID, and now he has COVID.
He's bringing it back to golf. Don't worry, guys.
I was like,
Both your friends got nervous. They're like, really? You want half the internet to hate us and the other half to think we're saying something we're not? I see where you guys are coming. Anything for the podcast. I know, man. You guys are patriots. Like, no, we're not. No. That's not what we're saying. That shit's gonna get missing. Willie. What's the word? Murky waters.
Murky waters, dude.
Well, Chris left the fucking room. he parted ways with this fucking podcast. He's like, all right, I'm gonna step out of this segment.
He's SpongeBob. I'm gonna head out.
He's texting on the toilet right now. He'd rather go in there and complain, like, I don't know what they're about to say.
Oh, dude, I'm a little worried.
No, yeah, but this is touchy shit right now.
We're about to dive deep into something.
Yes, Trump was playing golf. Tell us about it.
Yeah, tell us. Yeah, so he played how many games?
32 games during the COVID crisis.
Damn.
What the fuck?
32 games. Well, he owns. How many courses does this motherfucker own? He owns a bunch of courses.
Golf might be the safest goddamn social distancing sport you can fucking play. So what's the problem, Willie?
Yeah, I know.
But he got COVID.
Yeah, but not from fucking playing golf.
No, it was the segue into it.
No. Now we're gonna talk about politics.
Now we're gonna talk.
We just go right
Yo,
in
dude, but it's dead ass. So like, so he's sick. Now he's sick.
Yeah, president.
Do you think he's gonna make it?
Oh God, that's a heavy one.
That's a heavy one.
I've always looked at it like I'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
But right now, when he brought up the debate, I got uncomfortable.
Anything,
and that's interesting.
That.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But my experience just now was I was uncomfortable and everything in me wanted to not talk about the fucking debate. Even
So
though
did
I've always felt like I could talk about whatever I want.
Right. So did you watch it?
Fuck yeah, listen to the whole thing. Fuck yeah. All right, let's do it, motherfucker. I was at LAX. I was working at LAX. I had it on my phone and everyone started turning their phone on one by one because they're like, where are you watching that at? And I just started telling people, I was like, get on C-SPAN.
Yeah.
Get on fucking C-SPAN and live stream it. Everybody started listening to it. It ended up being just like you couldn't go anywhere hearing the debate or seeing it. It was
I feel
crazy.
like everyone's already made their minds. Like no one's on the fence and like,
No.
oh, actually, I was on the fence, and after that debate, I'm leaning more towards this person. Like I feel like you already.
I don't think Biden's gonna win.
Really?
I don't see
son.
it happening, dude.
Put that on your mama.
You know what? No, I do because I don't think a lot of people realize like Trump didn't handle Corona that well, and people are like, oh, like shit can hit the fan like very easily like today, and it can happen in an instant. I'd rather someone who's better. I feel like people are starting to realize, oh, okay, like, yeah, it was fun for a little while, but like this is a serious.
He was a fling.
Yeah, like,
he was a Republican fling. I don't know, dude.
It might be that you're saying this is a girl. She was fun. It might be one of those girls that like you wake up at midnight and you hear her honking on your driveway. You're like, "Hey, you motherfucker!" It might be that kind of girl that's like in the driveway still, even though you already made it clear.
I'm sorry, who is this girl?
Trump. So I'm telling you, you're trying to act, it was a one night stand. Let's break. Like, no, this bitch might be like the one that stays and comes back.
If Trump loses, he's still not gonna go away.
He's not going nowhere. Fuck no. He's gonna probably. They say he's gonna try to do his own news network or some shit.
Dude.
I don't fucking know.
That's crazy,
dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where Trump goes from here though.
Paying his taxes, maybe.
All right.
Okay, so we saw the debate. Dude,
I heard it.
I couldn't listen to it fully. Like I gave it a chance.
Is it because you care about who wins or loses?
I don't. At this point,
But I'm asking because it's the reason it'd be hard to watch would because what is your investment to where you care about watching or not watching? Like what is it that makes you go fuck? I can't watch this.
I couldn't handle how they were talking to each other.
Well, what's the fear though? What makes you to where you don't want to watch it?
No, it was just annoying.
Yeah, so it wasn't enjoyable to watch the debate itself. So yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
That's so on a basic level, it wasn't even a good fucking debate. On like the most basic level, it wasn't even a good it wasn't a conversation.
Not at all.
And I used the word rabid dog, and then I heard several other people also use the word rabid badger to describe. He was rabid. I was texting people. I was like, "This motherfucker has rabies. He's going nuts." He immediately just started going, and then when he starts arguing with the moderator, I was like, "Oh my, this motherfucker's arguing with the moderator now too." He went in guns blazing, dude. And also, if he was sick, imagine like I started telling Frankie, I was like, "What if he starts having like fever dreams and tweeting while he's in a fever dream?" And he starts tweeting while he's in the middle of a fever hallucination, just like, fucking, like. But it's. I agree with you, man. It wasn't watchable, but that's the problem itself. Is you said earlier, you said it was entertaining for a while, and now like enough already. It's not entertaining anymore. Yeah. That's the reason no, you said, but what you said,
I don't remember
not
that.
exactly what you said was earlier. You said that it's time. It's either you or Memo, but you said like it was funny, but it's not funny anymore. It's not Trump's presidency isn't funny anymore.
And we've seen it. We saw it 4 years ago.
And
all right.
If I'm being honest about my watching the fucking debate, that's where I was coming from, was just enjoying the shit show. I couldn't, if I had a position, I'd be angry either way. So I couldn't have a fucking position on who was winning or losing because I was like, this whole thing is a shit show. Total shit show.
I feel like everyone now is just already picking a side.
Oh,
so it's just like, all right, who is this for? Like, who's on the fence right now and is like watch that and says, okay, I was on the fence, but now I'm this person. Like, you already know who you're voting for in your head.
And it doesn't feel good to be like, no, these are formalities. This isn't that we're coming together to discuss ideas. Like, no. No more idea sharing. No more working out differences. You're over there. And I'm over here. It's just like, so that's what I felt. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, all right, here we go. Pending race war. But, here we go. Pending race war, everybody.
Let's wrap this up. But I wanted to ask you, Robert, before we wrap it up. Because we usually do this with every guest. Do you have any last thing you want to tell anyone listening? And I know you don't do social media, so they can't find you anywhere.
I got to start doing some shit to promote the fuck out of myself, man. I'll tell you that right now.
Or anything?
Do you have any last messages?
Thank you guys for having me on, man. I like your guys' setup. I like that you guys are doing this shit every Sunday. I like the neighborhood was nice. I found parking easily.
Nice.
So any future people that are like, man, I want to be on this.
Thing about this.
People go, I want to be on this fucking show. If you want to be a guest on here, it's easy as fuck.
Yeah.
Get on here. I immediately was given ample
we should also
seltzer.
be maybe a little bit picky. Let's not just accept the first person who offers
seltzer. So if you want seltzer, they give you plenty of seltzer.
Yeah, you get.
I got my own mic, which I've been going back and forth between clearness. I like to move around a lot. I fidget a lot. But now my last thoughts, and I appreciate you guys having me on here. I really do. And we jumped around a lot, but I hope I didn't talk too much. I tried to.
We're so hungover this morning. You had the mic.
Oh yeah, by the way, these are 3 drunkards. So I came on here with fucking these 3 dragged themselves in here like straight like, and then I'm like, oh fuck. But the thing is, they're very professional. And at no point did I feel uncomfortable, and at no point did I feel like running out of the fucking room.
You said that, but you were avoiding the fucking debate.
The debate? No. By that I mean like
I don't want to talk
when
about
it talks about when you bring up something like that's what I'm trying to explore. When you brought it up, you said like we can be able to anything goes, but I never thought that a subject would get brought up, and I didn't want to talk about it. And that wasn't for your sake. Yeah. This isn't my show. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like you guys keep it positive and funny.
Yeah.
Debates aren't funny right now. Like even talking about it's not. There's people that'll comment that'll be upset that you had a fucking opinion or whatever. So it's tough. But no, I got
most of our listeners are just our friends who don't really give a shit about.
Actually, I was looking at the analytics the other day. We have a lot of viewers in the East Coast.
Hey, thanks guys. Yeah, we appreciate that.
You guys should expand.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Shout out Steve, dude.
I hope you guys expand. I really wish you guys best of luck. Thank you. And good luck on everything.
This has been Anything for the Podcast. My name is Willie.
I am Chris.
And I'm Memo.
I'm Robert.
Hi, Robert. Hi and bye, Robert.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you Sunday.
Woo!